All right. Can everyone hear me now? Type 1. You can hear me now. Over the loud music, of course. I'll lower it. Don't worry. Mic test. Hit 1. If you can hear me now. I see a lot of ones in chat. Now, next instruction. Press 1 if the music is just right. Press 2 if it's too loud. I have an idea already what it will be, but let me know either way. Now, here's the next thing. If you are excited for the stream, like it. Hit the like button right now. I'm saying a few 2s in there. I might lower it slightly, but I'd still like you to hit the like button anyway. 3. I see how it is. I see how it is. You ain't fooling me. Alright, let's lower the music a little bit. How's that? That sound good? Yeah, that's what I figured. Yeah, pull the lever. Everyone hit the like button right now if you're watching. And then we can get started. -1. -1. Really? Really? We're playing those games now, huh? I see how it is. I see what you're throwing down. It's fine. It's fine. Well, well, well. Welcome again. Oh, let me 57. Jesus. Okay, I do appreciate you putting pi in there. All right, welcome again to another one of these streams. The next super chat will be able to bring us down to the proper number 67. That meme is dead. That meme is so dead. It's not even like it's beyond dead. It's like in the grave. It's deader than my wallpaper right now, as a matter of fact. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another one of these streams. I am currently still slightly unwell, but I digress. Still getting. Oh yeah, Miki. I know. I saw this and I had to freaking put this up. It's just too perfect a wallpaper not to. I've been getting into like a lot of the Frutiger Arrow kind of aesthetics recently, and I'm really digging this. And I just typed in, oh, what's in Wallpaper Engine? Frutiger Arrow. And like, oh, there you go. I'm like, oh, that's great. This is like every single thing I love about childhood right here. Oh, young adolescence. Oh, okay, not really. I was in high school when the Wii came out, so there we go. Where did I find it? I just found it on Wallpaper Engine. It's been a day and a half. My son has had many shots today, and he is in a mood. He is in a mood tonight. So, if I seem tired, it's because my sick family is feeling it today. And they had a checkup, too. I got a monthly checkup, too. 4 months. 4 months old. Can you believe it? Ooh, welcome. Nice, super chat's coming in.
At Glitch3119 super chatted $4.99, and it's me. I actually made it to a stream on time.
Hell yeah.
For the first time in ever. Also H at Hatsune Miku.
Hatsune Miku? I know, right?
At user_225_CCC super chatted $1.99. Bad Bunny halftime show proves we won culture war.
Yes, we did. I'm going to talk about that in just a bit. I do have a super chat real quick right here from, what is that? Erminita. We are back, baby. Yeah, we are back indeed. It's a day and a half. Oh, well, thank you for being a member for 15 months, Andypants Gaming. Wow, 15 months. Either way, this is going to be fun. It will be fun. We have some serious things to discuss, but mostly it's gonna be fun, for the most part. I mean, it's Andypants Gaming. He's always entertaining to take a look at. I think of all the grifters, he's probably the most cartoonishly terrible, so it's kind of easy to make fun of him. But I digress. We'll have a good time with it, no matter what. I know it even more. All right, so. There's a few things I want to talk about. Let's talk about the Super Bowl first, because that's the easiest thing to discuss, I think, because everyone watched it. Game sucked. The commercials were terrible with the exception of one, but everyone seems generally happy with the halftime show, and I can't blame them for that. It was fantastic.
At Hayden Gem super chatted $1.99. Mattel got the TMNT license for 2027 onwards.
Oh, man. Really? All right, we'll have to see how that goes, I guess. Yeah, no, I hated the commercials for the most part, with the exception being the banana one with Ben Stiller. There was a couple, like Budweiser, I think, had one. I think that was one of the ones that were decent. And, of course, the Pokemon one, which I thought was fantastic. Lady Gaga duet
At
with
Glitch
Jigglypuff.
3119 super chatted $4.99. Bees Honeybee for some happy stuff before we get to the blah.
Exactly, yeah. There's going to be a few topics I want to discuss that are less than fun. We have to talk about them. There's some drama in my circle of the neighborhood that needs addressing. But I think that the fun stuff, let's sandwich it with fun. Let's start with Super Bowl stuff, because the Super Bowl halftime show, absolutely fantastic. Great production value. I'm not like a Bad Bunny fan in terms of style of music necessarily, but I love the production value. I love the message of it all. I love the aesthetics. I think it was really fantastic. I love all the cameos. Bad Bunny was a very talented performer, I thought. It was fantastic. I would never listen to that music normally, because I'm more like a rock kind of guy, like metal, you know? So it's not really the kind of thing I would typically listen to. But considering I like metal and Kid Rock was the alternative, I think Bad Bunny was the right way to go, put it that way. I did like the Green Day performance at the start, though. I had to look it up afterwards because my son was crying when it happened, so he needed attention. Minions and Monsters trailer. It looks fun, I think. I'm still annoyed by Scream 7. I'm not looking forward to Scream 7. I'm not going to watch it in theaters. Like, I might watch it when it's streaming for free, but I'm not supporting that in the theaters, and neither should you, because that movie is the level of disrespect it's done to Marissa Barrera specifically is absurd, and also the freaking Meta AI collab they're doing. Everything about it feels like it's designed to piss people off, and I don't like it. And it looks uninspired, right? Like, the advertising looks uninspired. Remember with Scream 6, the advertising looked very inspired. It looked very clever. It looked very energetic. This feels soulless. It feels very by the numbers. And Scream should never be by the numbers. Scream should always be pushing the boundaries of what you do with slashers. It should be a reflection of the current state of horror, and this is just not that. Ooh.
At Ermanita Rules super chatted $1.99. Who's your favorite band? Mine's Blink and Queen. I
do love Queen. Queen is great. I'd probably listen to Nightwish the most, I think. I think Nightwish is the band I listen to the most, I'd say. But there's a lot of other creators, too, I really dig. A lot of other bands I love a lot. Mostly, though, I listen to, but I'm not I'm one of those guys who's not, super loyal to a specific band. I don't get, super into, the history or the breakups or whatever. But I do love Nightwish quite a bit. Which is Nightwish has its own history, which is, don't ask me to choose which singer, by the way, because I like them. I like all of them. Poet and the Pendulum, I was listening to it on the way to work today. It was actually pretty great. It was necessary reprieve from the audiobook I'm playing right now. Potentially for a video, because we got shouted out by Crispy's Tavern this weekend. That was really cool. And now I want to cover more of Shad's book, so we may get that in the next couple of weeks, hopefully. I want to beat Crispy to it. I know they're working on it, so I'd like to beat him to the punch with that video. But we'll see. It's not a high. I want to get it done sooner than later, but it's not like I'm gonna drop everything to get it done this week. Yeah, agreed with this entirely.
At Olivia_Williams_purple_fairy super chatted $1.46. I'm big on Blackbriar lately.
Blackbriar is really good. I dig them a lot. Within Temptations, another band I like. I have an IRL friend who was telling me how... She was telling me how she realized she was bisexual because she had this... She was just really into Nightwish. Not Nightwish, Within Temptation. And didn't know why until she realized, oh, wait. The lead singer's hot. That's what it is. I'm like, yeah, I mean, obviously. Ghost is really good. Yeah. No, Crispy is great. Crispy's really cool. And Crispy's given me a shout out before. I've always feel like the thing with YouTube that sucks is you always kind of want to get to know people more on YouTube. It is such an isolating platform for creators, because like you make all this stuff, you stream all the time, you talk to your audience, and a part of you is like, I really want to like get to know these people more, but it's like it's impossible to really know anyone really online too easily unless you have like another way of contacting them or talking. But people I have been online who have been really chill, I really dig a lot. They're really cool people. I've had very few super negative encounters online, which, you know, it's probably a good thing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, I was just showing. I was just showing. I kind of okay. I'll tell you this. I'll tell you all a quick story. And some of you might be in chat who saw this. I'm in like a couple different Discords, and one of them, by the way, Discord, shooting itself in the foot, but they're gonna backtrack. I think they're gonna backtrack. I've seen they've already started backtracking a little bit, but I think we might see it begin more because when I mean what Charlie Moist Critical was talking about it, freaking I think 10,000% the search for alternatives to Discord went through Google. So I think like people are gonna be Discord's gonna respond. They're a publicly traded company. They got to respond to both their investors as well as their client base. So I think they're going to want to money pushes people. Money talks. I was cynical when I first heard about it, but I'm a little optimistic now they might revert their ID decision. But yeah, no. So what was I talking about? Yeah. So I was on Discord with some buddies, Krim and Kyla T are among them, and I showed them this very controversial comic from r/comics.
At WC Wit
cool.
super chatted $4.99. I'm a big fan of Avantasia because they're great and their collabs have led me to other great metal artists.
That could be a big thing right there too. If they can collab and all that, I love that.
At Unwritten Page 7791 super chatted $5. My money's on them rolling it back. I've rarely seen such an unpopular move.
You know what? I'll tell you this. Yesterday, I would have betted against that, but today I'm betting with you on that one. Yes, I mean, I guess I'm just so cynical. I was like, yeah, no, it's over. It can't, there's nothing we can do to stop it. And then all of a sudden they just revert it. So I'm like, oh yeah, I forget. Like there is, you know, companies do respond to their core audience leaving them. I'm like, oh, well, actually, let's revert course in this one. And so many people canceled their Discord Nitro subscriptions. It's fantastic. I bought a year of it for myself, so I'm like, oh crap, now I can't really unsubscribe. I have it now. I can't get rid of it. It's not month by month, but still canceled renewal, which I guess scared them enough as is. So should have been a very controversial comic. You will see this probably on Friday's video because I'm going to bring it into that, which begs the question: what is Friday's video going to be about? Well, I've been seeing people ask about it. Like I've been teasing it. Like, oh, you got to check up on this second story video. Oh, you got to check up on, you know, some pink thing might show up. What am I doing? What am I cooking? I'll tell you what I'm cooking. It's monsters. It's a Valentine's Day Friday the 13th special. It's about monster romance and all the associated problems therein. And yes, Second Story has commented on the proliferation of romantasy and monster romance multiple times in the past, as have multiple other people. And if you guessed that Lily Goth was the pink thing I'm talking about, yes, she is. So I asked Lily to read a few quotes for me that she decided to do. And she sent me, like, not just, like, the quotes, but she sent me, like, her and her avatar, in her, like, you know, PNG tuber avatar, reading the quotes. I'm like, oh, hell yeah, this is perfect. And so I've been putting it in there. Not Pink King, a pink thing. That being, of course, Kinkymation, a.k.a. Lily Goth. So, Wave. Oh, yeah, Wave, yeah, no, Wave. I'm surprised you just heard about it now, Wave. Yeah, we were talking on your back. It's great. I'm kidding. Yeah, so it is a little unhinged. She was like, oh, ask me whatever you want me to read. I'm like, okay, I think I have enough for this. I also have a collab with some of you guys might remember Charlie, my editor who worked on my book with me. they'll be popping in too for a lot of as well. Oh, guys, hang on. Nick Wolf, I think we've been for 12 months. Please don't put us through Hillary Lane again. Not through a ton. She is a piece of the whole, not the whole thing. I'm also putting you through Shadiversity again, because he also talked about it. Yeah, it's the Shadiversity Hillary Lane crossover everyone always wanted. But it's mostly as a launching pad to a bigger discussion. It's not going to be a react stream entirely. There will be some reaction incorporated to it. But it's not going to be just reacting. So that's a good thing to keep in mind. It's not going to be pure react, but there's going to be some reaction to everything. Crossover we didn't want but deserved. Yeah, it's the one you deserve, sorry to say. What is this, a crossover episode? Yeah, it is, basically. Okay, so let's talk about a few things. Before we get into the whole Andypants Gaming thing, there's two things I want to talk about real quick. One of which is a big drama, one of which is a smaller drama. Let's talk about the big one first. Oh, super chat.
At unwritten page 7791 super chatted $2. Nightmare blunt rotation.
It is a nightmare blunt rotation. So I want to address this quick thing real quick. I know that the actual Dan and all those guys want to talk about it too. Actual Dane want to talk about all tomorrow too. But I want to talk about it separately. So there was a bit of a controversy in comics YouTube that I feel like I should address because I've streamed, I think, with all people involved in this, and I want to make sure my perspective is out there. But I also don't want to get involved with certain topics. There was some conflict between Comics Explained and Blurred Without Fear. I've had positive interactions with both these creators in the past. I want to point to that right now ahead of time. I generally like both these people, so I don't want to, be a jerk to anyone. There is a bit of controversy here. Some of it is very nuanced, some of it not so much, and some of it I, as a white person, do not feel qualified to discuss because it deals with colorism and topics of black identity that I, as a white guy, am not qualified to offer any meaningful viewpoint on. But the gist of it is that Comics Explained on Twitter follows both Critical Drinker and Nerdrotic. Now, his reasoning for doing so is that he wants to hear what they have to say so he can see what they're saying, so he can get a perspective of all different viewpoints on every matter whenever possible. Now, he has outright said also he's not siding with them. He's not agreeing with them. He's just following what they have to say. And there was some discussion here. He put out a statement that Blurred Without Fear found very off-putting. I want to point out right now, most of this drama is between two creators and their two personal arguments. We're not watching the whole thing. I don't think it's relevant. You can watch this later on your own. That's the gist I feel personally qualified to respond to. My black audience, if you want to respond to the colorism and all that angle of it, I think, is something I do not feel qualified to discuss personally because I don't have the same personal life experience to comment on that. I think it makes sense, the discussion. I understand why feelings are hurt. But I can't comment on it from any cultural perspective. I get why people are mad. It makes sense. The back and forth makes sense to me. I get that. Here's my perspective on it. On the specific issue of, is it... And I'm not saying... Comic Explained, I'm going to play a little bit of the clip right here, where I think he says his point. Blurred has his entire point. It's very, very thorough. He goes into a lot of very specific things. I recommend watching a video on your own to form your own opinion on it. I'm trying to find the right... There you go, right here. Yep. Oh, sorry, I have to read that. One second, let me read that real quick. The background music reminded me of Lonely Summer. Yeah, right? I love that. Okay, so here's the clip. Let's just play a little bit of this right now so you have a sense of it. Again, I do want to avoid making any strong statements about this because I'll save it to the end.
Sent me was basically to say that he follows Critical Drinker and Nerdrotic because he gave some screed about his dad telling him, oh, you got to know what both sides are saying. You got to know what both sides are saying. Okay, I'm sure your dad actually told you that bullshit, but Here's the thing I don't think he told you. I don't think he told you to actually like follow them, like to actually like you have their shit show up on your social media feed. I'm almost positive that might not have been the exact sentiment.
Getting into the whole conversation, right, about one of the, like, people started to figure out that, like, I follow Critical Drinker and Nerdrotic on Twitter. Yeah. I mean, if somebody tweeted out and asked that question, do you follow Nerdrotic and Critical Drinker? I would have been like, yep. Now, why do I follow them? Because when I was younger, my dad gave me a really good piece of advice, which was this. He said, if you're going to stand for something, then you need to know what the other side believes. And you need to know what the other side stands for. And you need to listen to what the other side has to say. Not because you respect them, not because you like them, but because you are not right 100% of the time. And they are not wrong 100% of the time. And how could you possibly know whether or not you're right if you reject any opinion other than your own? At that point, you're just confirming your own views over and over and over again. Right? And so that's why I follow them. I don't like or respect.
Oh, here you go.
At Shoot and Run Films super chatted $4.99. I stopped watching Comics Explained 1S when he turned out to be Super Pro AI.
Oh, he's Super Pro AI too? That's unfortunate.
Critical Drinker or Nerdrotic.
That's why
I have
really
no problem admitting that publicly. If I happen to bump into them at a Comic-Con, they're like, oh my God, your Comics Explained, we're huge fans. Do you want to get a beer? I would just be like, no. And then I would leave, right? But I do listen to them because it's entirely possible that they have an opinion out there somewhere that actually changes and it gives me reason to rethink my own viewpoints. That maybe I'm not actually as right as I've been telling myself I am this entire time.
Okay, so let's, I want to analyze that. Now, again, Live Without Fear has his interpretation of that. You can watch his video in full to hear it. I want to respond, though, because I feel like this particular part of the drama overlaps with what I do so often. And so I feel it would be disingenuous for me not to respond to this, because it's a fair point. If you have a strong perspective, you should listen to your opposition. In that specific general perspective, yeah, that is a fair argument. You should hear all sides out. There are times when I myself have had my opinion change because I've listened to people say things that proved I didn't know what I was talking about. A great example of that recently that everyone here knows about would be the whole thing with Saberspark. So, you know, you hear this out of context story about someone accusing a large creator of being assaulted. My initial instinct was to believe the person coming forward because without context, without information, you're like, well, no one would make that up. Why would they make that up? And then you found out more details. I knew that there was something wrong with how KP released this information. KP was immediately in the wrong, obviously, but that's a very important detail. You know, having that is having the information that you have presented to you about the KP accusations, about the Emu specific accusations, is very important. Add to that, as time passed on, evidence came out to prove the accusation was completely fabricated for personal reasons. There were contradictory texts. Now, all of that wouldn't have become available unless you were willing to listen to all sides. So in that specific instance, yeah, listen to all sides works. However, and this is the big however, in regards to the specifics of Nerdrotic and Critical Drinker, that does not apply. And I'm going to explain why that does not apply. Because Nerdrotic and Critical Drinker are full of shit. Specifically. If we were talking to people who approach with honest perspectives, yeah, that would be something. But there are sides and then there's bullshit. Right? Here's the problem. And I get where Comics Explained is coming from. He wants to hear all sides. He wants to make sure he hears all perspectives to form his opinion. I get that.
At Nick Wolf 3,885 super chatted $4.99. I've been mixed on Explained since he criticized Black Adam 2022 haters for wanting movies to be art. Least it's not. Owen explains comics.
And I want to point this out too. I like most of the guys in the comic sphere. I've streamed with them. I've talked to them. There's running Discords I'm part of that I talk to them on. So I like most of these people on a personal level. So I don't want to I'm trying to phrase it in a way that's constructive because I feel it is a constructive avenue here. Too often online, we jump down people's throats and we go, okay, we're going to cancel this person with this perspective or this opinion. I think it's important to be constructive while disagreeing. I think that's essential here. There is no value to listening to Critical Drinker or Nerdrotic. They're not compelling people. If, you know, I know the Birdman, for example, talked about in some videos, watching Critical Drinker at first, thinking there was something there, and then at each time getting a little more disillusioned with him, until finally he's like, this guy's full of shit, I can't listen to the word he has to say, you know, etc. So, and that's important to note, because he isn't being truthful to his audience. He's not presenting facts, he's presenting a misleading grift to his audience. Now, we have watched Drinker talk many, many times in this channel. If you want to hear what Critical Drinker has to say, there are numerous people here who want to go in and disseminate what he has to say to fact check him live or present a counter argument live. Like this channel, for example. Like the Birdman, like many other channels out there. There are ways to hear what the other side has to say to strengthen your opinion, you know? And they are times. Holy crap, Lois, it's Anthony, yeah. And there are many times where people, and also I like Owen Explains Comics too. He's a cool guy. I've talked to him a couple times. He's really cool. I wanted to get him on like a thing at some point. So I don't want to, like, you know, again, I like most of these guys. I don't want to be mean about it because I don't want to. Here's the thing. That's a tough part talking about controversy, especially if you like the people involved on both sides of the controversy. I don't want to be a jerk to any of these guys because they've all been very friendly to me, all very welcoming to me. I don't want to draw lines in the sand because I respect these creators a lot. But the problem is there's just no value to listening to. It's like going out to the desert and seeing a mirage. If you drink the sand, it looking like water does not make it any less sand. You know? Like, he'll make it sound convincing. You might think, oh, wow, that's a good point. But if you really want to hammer in that perspective, what you got to do then is actually scrutinize what's being said. It's not enough to listen to other sides. You got to scrutinize them, you know, with your own perspectives. Yeah, that's what it is. That's
At Maryland 614 super chatted $5.11. Is Blurred Without Fear at war with Comics Explained? Apparently for following Nerdrotic and Critical Drinker? Very weird times.
Yeah, I know. They're very, yeah, they're at war basically. And it sucks because I feel like there was a path that was more constructive to this. I feel there was a way both sides could have, like, hashed it out in a way that was productive, but they chose not to do that. And that sucks. But I'm also not going to get involved in personal drama between two creators. I'm going to offer my perspective from an outsider. I think that Comics Straight, not Comics Straight, Comics Straight's not involved with this either. I think Comics Explained, is, you know, I think his approach is misguided here. I get what he thinks, but I think he's misguided with the specifics right here. I also think that Blurred Without Fear may have been a little harsh. He did pull a lot of really intense punches. I feel like both sides could have handled it better personally, but I'm also not going to get involved in that drama because I myself am not Blurred Without Fear or Comics Explained, and there's a lot of points there. Again, I as a white person do not feel qualified to discuss. It's rough because, you know, you look at this and you think, okay, everyone online gets along or is in fights. And it sucks when there's two creators who both have very strong perspectives, who argue. But, you know, I have a perspective on it. I don't want to fight Comics Explained about it, personally. I don't want to fight Blue Without Fear about it. I just want to say, hey, this is my perspective on it, and I feel like it's important. And there's some issues I'm going to say, hey, it's not my community, and I feel like I'm not qualified to talk about it. So that's important as well. Again, with all these discussions, there is nuance here that is worth discussing and analyzing and bringing forth. But again, it's unfortunate because I really would like there to be, I feel there is a solution to this that does not involve people coming to blows, but I feel like we've bypassed that at this point. It really sucks. But I also feel like there's no value to listening to Nerdrotic, seriously, or Critical Drinker, seriously. I don't think there's any value to that. There are other right-wing, even, or more conservative critics who I think I disagree with strongly, who I feel like at least are honest about their perspectives. Critical Drinker and Nerdrotic are going to say whatever they want for money. That's what it is, you know? Especially because it's your social media feed. You get bombarded by it. It's exhausting. And then the algorithm then sends you more stuff like that. And they can be erratic and racist and bigoted. And it just gets exhausting. I don't know. I think it's important to look at all sides, but, like, with the scrutiny that all sides deserve.
At Maryland 614 super chatted $5.11. Oh, also, now that Gamergate has been exposed as a Bannon Epstein psyop.
Yes.
Is it a matter of time before Comicsgate weirdos distance themselves?
I don't know. Because Comicsgate is in such a dead state in so many ways. Actually, what's funny about Comicsgate is, I want to point this out. This is a really cool little detail. We're getting close to a couple goals here in terms of subscribers. I am excited for something very specific. So. Ooh, Super Chat coming in.
At Stingertopia 3169 super chatted $10. An attempt to hear out the drinker and Nerdrotic is an attempt to talk with the mute and discuss color with the blind, admirable, but foolhardy and a waste of everyone's time.
I agree. I get where Comics Explained is coming from. He wants to hear every side. He wants to see the bigger picture. He wants to have that kind of, I don't want to be dismissive, but it's kind of like the liberal dream, isn't it? Where it's like, every side is coming with good intentions, and you have they have the best intentions, and they're not trying to mislead. They all come into conversation with good faith, but it's just not the reality of it. A lot of people come in bad faith. I approached freaking, as everyone knows, I debated Tactical Templar a few months ago. That ended up great, clearly, because he approached in such good faith, you know? These guys aren't coming in good faith. So here's a fun one from someone else who's not coming in good faith. We got here Comic Arts Pro Secrets here, Ethan Van Sciver. Ethan and I have had beef for a very long time. A very, very long time. And look at that. He has 133,000 subscribers. But also, coincidentally enough, someone else also has the exact same number of subscribers. And look right here. Look right here. CD Cal, aka Lily Orchard, and Ethan Van Sciver. Both with the same number of subscribers, 133,000. And we are sitting at 117,000. Just saying. Just saying, we're very close to breaking through your subscriber count and your subscriber count, and I have beef with both of them. I can't stand either of them. I think they're both terrible. And we're very close to getting more subs than them, despite the fact they've been trying to push this channel around for a very, very long time. Oh, well, for you two. Oh, it feels good. There is no revenge quite as satisfying as a life well lived. But coming back to this drama right here, I think there is nuance here. I think my perspective is, I feel like he has the right approach,
At
but not the right.
Boy
He's not playing the right game.
562 super chatted $6.36. Sometimes it isn't about listening to them, but more so about refuting the crap that they say. If no one does, more people will flock to them and think they're right since there's no opposition.
100% correct. I agree with all of that. That's why I'm here. That's why a lot of us are here.
At Tall King Movie Bubbles B6N super chatted $4.99. What is your favorite Sailor Moon fanship?
Ooh, I like this one.
Mine would be Hotaru x Chibiusa since I viewed it as a prototype Madoka and Homura.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that ship, but my favorite is my favorite fan ship, so not canon, is and always has been Ami and Mako. So Sailor Mercury and Sailor Jupiter. I love those two. I think everybody is strong. I love characters who are both physically and emotionally different, because I feel like they're very good complements to each other. I love that dynamic. It's just great. But yeah, no. So we're here for that reason. It's important to deconstruct grifters. And again, that's why I want to talk about this topic. Not because I like talking about comic book YouTuber drama. That's not it at all. But rather because I think that I'm in the position where I do listen to a lot of the grifters and their perspectives. And I can tell you from firsthand experience, they're not saying anything. When they are right, and they're only right on occasion, they're only saying something that any other critic would also say. Like, couple weeks ago we had the He-Man stream, right? And Shad was saying some stuff that was actually decent. I'm like, yeah, Shad's right about that. You know, whatever. He's wrong about a lot of things, but he's right about this specifically. And what he was saying was the most milquetoast basic stuff. He was meaning the bare minimum. He wasn't being shocking or, you know, progressive. He was just saying the bare minimum of what you should say. And so as a result, you're like, well, yeah, he's saying the bare minimum, so that doesn't mean much. He's right because the standards are just that low. So it's like, what's the point of this, you know? So again, I digress. Now, another thing I want to talk about is OtterlyNoah. Because there's been I've seen some posts on Reddit. I go on the YouTube drama subreddit there. I'm friendly with a few people on there, and I comment on stuff on occasion. It's one of the many subreddits I like to frequent. But unlike most, where I just kind of like quietly stalk and like linger and look at stuff, this one I actually do engage with because unfortunately I end up meeting the people who end up on there so often. So I've been seeing a lot of people on there talking, and if you're on stream from that subreddit, you know where this is going. Noah put out a statement fairly recently about the scandal, and Noah's on my Discord. Noah's probably watching, so I don't want to put anyone on a spotlight or anything like that. But I want to clarify a couple things. 'Cause I noticed that some people have the wrong idea about what's going on with me and Noah. I want to clear it up right now. Ooh,
At
yes.
Tall King Movie Bubbles B6N super chatted $1.99. So play Sailor Moon another story.
I might just do that. That sounds like a fun event. It might be a good charity stream actually, because that's such an unusual game. Most people have played it. Anyway, but yeah, so yeah, this is a rough one. This is an unfortunate one. I'm not gonna lie. This one kind of sucks. So Noah, for those who don't know, I'm gonna briefly recap the drama with Noah because it's a whole thing. OtterlyNoah has been caught plagiarizing for some of his scripts, and he made it was a whole big thing. There were a bunch of YouTubers who he copied from directly, and I'm trying to find the right words for this one. So he took it well. I felt he streamed with his detractors. I don't know why he did that. That was I think the first big mistake he made. Yeah, that's weird. I think it was a mistake of him, honestly. He should never have streamed with his detractors. That was a mistake. But okay, he did that. What he then did was he then streamed while I was streaming with Cope and Seeth, Beckett, as well as with the Op Block, and he addressed questions from them. Beckett, I have always said this, and I will continue to say it. No matter what you think of the content he produces, he is a very hard worker. He wants to get the story as accurately as possible. Unfortunately, Noah's story was not flattering to him, so that was a problem. And my biggest concern is and was that Noah's audience may be too permissive of when he struggled. And I told Noah this directly. I'm not telling you anything I didn't tell Noah. Because I think his audience was too it's okay, don't worry about it. No, it's not okay. This is the thing he did that was wrong. He has to, make up for it. And so I offered to give him a little feedback to help him with his structure and style so he wouldn't be making the same mistake again. People on Reddit misinterpreted this entirely. And I think it's partially how Noah phrased it in his script in his apology video. Noah said Anthony Grimullia will be proofreading his scripts. That's not really the case. Now Noah is eager to improve, but I feel like, okay, so I'm going to phrase this in the way it's the most constructive way possible. I feel the problems that Noah is facing have entirely to do with process and the speed of which he produces his work. Now again, a lot of creators will pass notes to each other. I don't like making a big deal of it, but there are other creators out there who have said, hey, Ant, can you take a look at my script real quick? See if you have any thoughts on it, just for a quick feedback. I'm like, oh, yeah, sure, take a look at it. And I offer some feedback, and usually it's helpful, I think. There's a few people who've done this, some of which are pretty big names, and I do the same with them. We trade notes, trade ideas, and that's fine. That's just normal. It's accepted. If you're in this industry and you know each other, and you want to go, oh, hey, let me run this through another set of eyes, see if it works as well as I think it does. It's a great idea. It works very well. Some regular stream contributors, some people who I've worked with on occasion, but not super publicly with, it happens. It's good. And it's good to do that. And when Noah said, hey, can you look at my script? I'm thinking oh yeah, sure. I'm going to do the same thing I do with any number of other people who I've done that with. So the first problem right there is phrasing as proofreading. And I looked over his script too. I should have told him not to do that because that phrasing of it implies I'm writing the script with him. That's not the case. I just read the script he wrote and said, hey, here's what I think. I think this could be better, this could be better, this could be better, and then just do it on your own. I have no final say on anything that he does. I just gave him some notes and that's it. Fact-checked a few things, gave him feedback on his process, especially in paragraph breaking, which I think is a small issue to you guys, but a big issue from writing. When you write a script, right, and this is a big thing you got to keep in mind. This is with anything you write, be it an essay, be it an article, be it a book, be it a script. You want to break up your ideas into separate chunks, separate blocks, mainly to divide your ideas to make sure that the internal logic of your arguments has a beginning, a middle, and an end. I felt that Noah's script was very disorganized initially, and I gave him feedback on it, and he incorporated it. I want to say that right now. Everything I'm saying, he incorporated. I'm not talking bad about him. That being said, though, I did not check for any plagiarism. I did not. I said, "Hey, where'd you cite this? What's the source for this?" I would say that occasionally, but I didn't. I didn't run through a plagiarism check. I have a life. I don't have time to plagiarism check someone else's script. And I've read a lot of scripts before. This was definitely it needed a little bit of organization. But what concerned me was the speed. That's the thing I'm concerned about. And Noah, if you're listening, you gotta slow down. I'm not saying don't produce work. That's important, but you gotta slow down a little bit because you're working at way too fast a rate. Okay, so this might sound hypocritical because you think, oh, I put out a video every week, but I'm not working on that video for the week. When I was working on early on, I would make shorter videos and I'd finish those in a few days. Sure, I've said this a few times. My YouTube Critics Are Lying to You video back a while ago, almost 2 years now. I did that in 3 days. Yeah, I did do that in 3 days. But the process of that made me realize that's a bad idea. The video that came out a couple weeks ago, the dangerous movies, that one, I started work on that in July. That video has been gradually in the works for 7 months before you saw it. And most of that was spent researching. That wasn't a spur-of-the-moment thing. I worked on that very slowly. Other ones, like the Iron Lung video, obviously I put that out in the weekend. I didn't script that. I just kind of recorded myself and just filmed myself and edited it down. But most of the time I'm working on things either very quickly because it's a short video with a quick turnaround, or I'm working on it very, very slowly. And so I was editing the script last night. He said he'd have it out by today. The whole video by today. I'm like, no, Noah, you got to slow down. That's way too fast. And so I'm saying this publicly to put pressure on him to slow down for his own good. You can't put out a video that quickly with that much research behind it, that fast, that regularly. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to make errors, and you gotta calm down. No, we're not canceling OtterlyNoah. This is for his benefit. I want him to improve. I want him to get better. I want him to be I want Noah to be the best possible creator he can be. And to that end, he has to take things slower. Work on these a little bit more. Take your time. And I told him this too. There's an old saying from Nintendo. I think he said Miyamoto said it, and it might be Miyamoto. I'm not sure. That said, like, something to the effect of, like, if you release a game late, but it's finished, that's better than releasing a game on time that's unfinished. And no, Noah's not canceled. Noah can recover. Noah can bounce back. I actually talked to another creator friend of mine who has dealt with someone who committed plagiarism in the past. I won't say names, but it's not totally hard to figure out. For feedback, saying, "Hey, what do you think? What's the best approach?" Just to make sure I was doing it right. And she was like, you want to make sure you're supportive and encouraging, but also, you want to see their perspective on things, make sure everything goes well. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds good. Don't try to be rational and try to do things for their benefit. And yeah, you gotta do things for their benefit. It was Miyamoto? Yeah, exactly.
At Lemic Zero super chatted $2.
Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, a delayed game is eventually good, but a rush game is forever bad. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. And like, I tell myself this too. Like, there have been times recently where I'm like, I can't finish this video on time, so I'm not going to. I'm going to take an extra day, get it right, and then put it out. Because the alternative is you have a shitty video you're not proud of. I've missed my deadline a few times because I want to make sure it's done right. And like, it's rough because like you don't want to be. And listen, Noah is improving. Noah is getting better. He's listening to feedback. I gave him some feedback. Hopefully he takes it. Where he goes from it though is his own. But that's on his own when he finally does improve. No one. The problem is on the subreddit that I thought it bothered me was people were acting as though I was working with Noah, that Noah would echo my thoughts, that Noah would be a secondary channel that I could funnel my beliefs through. Nothing is like that. I'm not writing another script that I don't need to write. I got my own stuff I got to worry about. I got collaborations and things cooking that you don't know about yet. That hopefully will be good. As a video that I filmed back in November with Crimes New Roman and Andrew Bluet that is still not out yet. And we filmed back in November. Like there's a lot of stuff in the works I have to work on. I can't run a second channel through someone else's name. No, by no means. Yeah, tortoise wins the race, exactly. And so I want to make sure he knows, listen, you have a lot of potential. Live up to it, He has a lot of potential and he can do better. I just want to make sure he does it better on his own terms. And I want to give him the tools that he can use himself to improve. I'm not doing it for him. I am not staking my reputation on him succeeding. I am saying, here's what you can do to do. Here's what I do to succeed.
At Kazuki Obero super chatted $5.
That's it.
Problem being is that the YouTube algorithm punishes inconsistency, and thus makes people rush uploading way too much, I think.
Yes, that is true, but like... Look, listen... That is true. That's why I work with a timeline with all projects. My professional experience has allowed me to understand project management, right? I have a timeline. I know, okay, get this done by this date, by this time, in advance for this. Most of my videos are done before the due date. For that reason, I am very experienced with project management. And I work with a team now, which helps me out much more. That's very beneficial, but that takes a while to get to. But you have to work at a decent pace. If you rush, that's how errors happen. And I think the bigger issue is not the plagiarism. The plagiarism is a symptom of the rushing. So I want him to relax. Take your time, breathe in, breathe out, do the research needed, get it done correctly. Use it as a support, not as a crutch. Not as a crutch, that's the wrong way, that sounds too harsh. Use the research phase as a way to learn the topic thoroughly so that you can dive in on your own in as much depth as you want. But I am not accountable for if he does not do that. I'm It's not my horse. It's that's what it comes down to. Okay, cool, good. We're good. Cool, excellent. Yeah, I hope so too. I want him to succeed. I want Noah to succeed. I want Noah to do incredible stuff. That's why I told him my process. That's why I told him some good feedback on that. That's why I gave him some ideas on how to write more effectively, how to write stronger. Because I didn't just tell him like, oh, hey, here's what you can do to avoid getting caught for plagiarism. I gave him like real writing feedback. I used to teach writing, so I know what I'm talking about. I wrote for publications for like 5 years. All right, before coming to YouTube, I know how to write something. So that feedback I gave him, and hopefully it helps him. You know, I hope so. I really want him to do well. But we'll see. I can't, but I want to make sure that everyone knows I can't be accountable for if anything happens that is not great. Okay, so let's take a look real quick, I should say, at some Andypants Gaming. Now, Andypants Gaming here, let's bring over right here.
Are you tired of modern feminist sermons about toxic masculinity delivered by...
Ignore that. I'm getting ahead of myself there. Let me pause this
Boys,
as well. Okay, cool. So, chat, Andypants Gaming. This lovely channel that is not at all a cry for help from a man who was deeply dealing with something. Surely. So okay. So this man is deeply insecure in himself, and his masculinity. He is a fundamentalist Christian. He is a very deep in the manosphere, like super. I mean, let me turn off the music here that's been going on. Oh, it's been going on the whole time. That's impressive. Cool. He is deeply in the manosphere, like deeply in there. He's not doing too good. He's his channel's a cry for help. Look at it. Look at these videos. He is deeply obsessed with the lives of the gays. He believes that women are going to ruin video games. He is a candidate for the worst thumbnail I've ever seen right here. This Indiana Jones one right here that has him, that says Indiana Jones is gay, black, and disabled, apparently. I don't know how that works out. He is a fascinating figure. Crimes New Roman freaking loves this guy. Noah, I have talked to Noah about so many freaking grifters online. It's not even funny. There are some characters. Noah's great, by the way. If you haven't seen Crimes New Roman, take a look at their second story video. It's fantastic. They are a character. They will just say whatever shit they want. And it's great. I love that guy. I love Crimes New Roman. Anyway, also showing up briefly in Friday's video, he sent in a line that I asked him to record, and he was, and they were like, "This is the stupidest thing I've ever seen." Damn it, I'm in. Like, yeah, there we go. That's the spirit. I believe crimes pronouns are he, they. I'm just making sure I'm not making a mistake there. But yeah, so this is also the guy, Andypants Gaming, who made that that video game that got made his wife divorce him and had the kid got taken away from him. So he is now a divorced dad who will hopefully never see his daughter again. I say that as a father now that I can officially say, God damn, you should not be with kids. If you want to see that game, Dead Domain did a whole playthrough of it when it first came out, which is amazing. They did a great job looking at it. Andypants Gaming is known for responding to just about every single critic who has ever responded to him. Even, I was talking to British Runner before, because he did a video on Andypants a while back. Even, like, found the British Runner just talking about things that Andypants had said in the past. The guy's nuts. So I'm expecting to see him in my comment section before long. Anyway, we have 2 videos from Andypants that are just fascinating. And by the way, I've also gotten messages from Andypants in the past, and they're all as dumb as you'd expect. They're all as dumb as you'd expect. He's not exactly he's not the best when it comes to debate, I'll put it that way. Yeah. Oh, super chat. What's a big super chat? Wow.
At Stingertopia3169 super chatted
Thank you for the
$20.
super chat.
Generally, I wouldn't mention a dude's personal life with
No,
his
neither would
channel
I.
opinions. However, he's an exception though for the sheer fact he literally just puts his life into his work in all of the worst ways possible.
Yeah.
Poor family.
Yeah. Seriously. 1 second. Sorry. Sorry. Gotta remember, I'm still getting over a cold here. The fact that I sound as good as I do is because I'm very much shooting at myself with saline spray, and have a lot of tea with a lot of honey. It's very important when you're sick to have tea with honey. If you can have ginger tea with honey, it's even better. You know, ginger tea is a fantastic tea to have while sick. I'll tell you that right now. It's a great, great one. And of course, rest with medicine. Don't freaking do the whole, I'll cure myself with holistic medicine only. So yeah, no, the problem is Andypants makes his life his content. And so his content is what we respond to. Therefore, his life is what we respond to. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. This is not, is there a real upload of the debate? Of the Actman debate? Yeah, there's an upload of that. Not on Andypants Gaming's channel, but there's an upload of that. Okay, so I'm gonna look at 2 videos right now. The reason I'm bringing up Andypants at all is because SK, who, by the way, I am planning on debating personally about The Dark Knight sometime soon. Hopefully next week, but we'll see. It was supposed to be today, but I was, not feeling up for... I don't know if I was feeling, well enough for that, so I chose not to do it. And I had, other... Obviously, I want to talk about the Noah stuff and all that. So SK responded to... Oh, well, Joe Cat has a new video out. That'd be fun. I'll look at that later. Cool. So... He has 2 videos out I want to take a look at. I want to start... I'll let chat decide what we start with. Do we start with... We have 2 options here, chat. Chat, let's talk. I'm going to make a poll for this, all right? Have audience participation on this one, all right? Where do we start? Do we start with his angry... Wait, is this the right one? Oh, I hit the wrong one. Wrong one. This is the one I was talking about. Okay. No, GTA 1.
Old GTA was like this.
Sorry, let me knock that one off. So, do we start with GTA? Or do we start with 25 most based games? Chat, I hand you the reins of this stream. Don't let me down. Where do we start? Why GTA 6 will suck? Or the 25 most based games of all time? Chat, do not lead me astray. Let me know where you want to start. Both of these are content gold. I want to cover both tonight, but let me know what you want me to start with. Just so you know, base games is 40 minutes long. GTA 6 is 13 minutes long. So we should get to both over the course of this stream. I'll let chat choose that for a second. And again, I want to point out something that's very important here. We can predict base games. That's true. We'll talk about that too. And with the base games, I want to bring up the other things. I want to choose that one. Friend of the channel, Queen Coke Francis, who is again takes the cake for one of the best names I've ever seen for a channel ever. Is recently did a video on the conservative gaming sphere. Now, unfortunately, it turns out Hello Kitty Island Adventure is not a conservative game. I know, I'm shocked too. But they were trying to find the most conservative game. And of course, they fell back on military slop, like your Call of your CODs and all that. But a lot of them were trying to say Persona 4 was a conservative game. That Persona 4? Yeah, no, that's not happening. Someone was saying Final Fantasy 7 was a conservative game, which, by the way, I want to remind you, Final Fantasy VII, the remake, I just want to point out, this is the most, according to some people, this is one of the most conservative games around. Just want to point out, this is, here we go. According to many, this is the conservative game that they want to defend right here. Yep, the most conservative game I can think of. Final Fantasy VII. Can't get much more than this. Fucking love this game. It's so ridiculous. Where's the one where Aerith responds? Did they have that right here? Okay, I'm not sure.
How much did you drink tonight? Over here. I can't help it. It was amazing.
At Wing of Shoe
love
super
Aerith.
chatted $2, but COD is on the woke games list for trans flags.
Apparently so. Apparently COD is too woke for the conservative group. Actually, it's very close. 116 votes. I'm gonna call it now though. It looks like 25 most base games wins for now, and we can cool off with GTA at the end. That way, we have an easy one to end on that takes a lot less energy, I'd imagine, than watching Andypants Gaming talk endlessly about how much he loves Gears of War. Because again, Andypants Gaming is a total Xbox fanboy. Now, we are going to bring up the subtitles. Settings. Where are your settings? Options, here we go. Font size, make it a little bigger. Yeah, cool. And chat, let's just dive in.
Are you tired of modern feminist sermons about toxic masculinity delivered by bagel writers? Are you exhausted with
Bagel writers? Is that like an anti-Semitic slur? Because bagels, like, is that like, what do you mean like white bread writers? Like, what is that? Who's supposed to be offended by bagel writers? Is that a Jewish joke? Or is that like a New Yorker joke? Or is that like a coastal elite joke? Or is that a white joke? I don't, like, who should be offended more by that?
At 000 Agent 88 super chatted $5. To quote Cloud himself, nailed it. I know, thank you. Moving on.
Yeah, right, exactly. It could be hipsters. I'm not sure who should be offended by that. That's the problem. You know, it's like, who gets offended by that? Like, who's the offended party? I don't know. We'll find out. I'm sure it makes sense to Andy Pants, though, when he wrote it. I'm sure he thought it was really clever, but we'll find out. But again, I don't know many games where they have toxic masculinity as a talking point. That's the thing that's always funny about this. It's always like, oh, you know, all those games about toxic masculinity. Like, I don't know any game. I can't think of any games that really dive into that. I don't know.
hip woke hackers in your Rainbow Barf game? Are you going to melt down if you see Deborah Wilson's face in another game?
Why are you melting down if you see her face in the game? What's wrong with her face? She plays minor characters. That's how she looks like. I mean, I don't get it. Again, it's one of those things where I'm like, why does this bother you? Because what's wrong?
At Nick Wolf 3885 super chatted $1.99. My fav tokusatsutsu, Bagel Rider.
Bagel Rider. I love Bagel Rider. My favorite character, my favorite tokusatsu. Yeah, no, I heard about the Yakuza game. No, that's screwed up. No, that's very screwed up. I agree. I know Jazzy, friend of the channel, has a video on that too, talking about that.
At Jonathan Frostathan super chatted $5. The Spot from Spider-Verse would get offended by the term Bagel Rider, TBH.
He would be pissed. he may destroy the multiverse just over that joke alone. Also, I noticed one of these does not look like Deborah Wilson at all.
At Ermanita Rules super chatted $1.99. Only toxic guy here is the guy whose family left.
Yeah, right? I mean, I'm wondering now, maybe the problem is that, when was this made? This video is 6 months old. So his family, this video is post-family leaving him. This is a post-lost your family video. Just so you have context. He's already divorced, and his child's been taken away from him at this point. So, we're getting more unhinged Andypants Gaming on this one.
Well, boys, there's a magical place you can escape to, and it's called video games prior to 2018.
Like Persona 4, a game that never discusses gender politics or sexuality, ever. Or Final Fantasy, apparently.
At Olivia _Williams _purple _fairy super chatted $3.65. Those are the only people who talk constantly about toxic masculinity.
Exactly. It's ridiculous. Like it's like at this point, the guys, come on. What's
At
the point
It's Your
here?
Boy 562
It's your
super
boy.
chatted $3.18. Before this list gets started, what in your opinion is the most based game?
Can I answer with a game series instead of a singular game? Because the most based game ever is and always will be the Metal Gear Solid series as a collective. As in, like, all of them at once. Because I can't choose one of them. Final Fantasy. Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Revengeance, they're all based. All of them are based, and they're amazing. And they're based because they are simultaneously one of the best examinations of the systems of control that govern our entire life, mixed with sheer batshittery. You know what I mean? Revengeance is surprisingly about the machine of war and how mimetic information online can corrupt our perspectives. And it's also
At
batshit
Armanita
insane.
Rules super chatted $1.99. You're pretty good.
You're pretty good. I freaking love that. Bravo Ocelot, great. Freaking identify. I love the, what was his name? Vulcan. Freaking identifies that Naked Snake is impersonating someone by like reaching down for their crotch and going like, that's not what it feels like. I know you're an imposter. Like, I love that. And of course, he's saying games for 2018 didn't have anything based in it. Didn't have anything in it, like all this woke feminist stuff. Meanwhile, Metal Gear Solid 2 is the first game to use the word bisexual in dialogue, both in English and Japanese. So, breaking ground wherever you go, you know? So, already, he's wrong already. Any game before 2018, well, I guess he really loves Sayonota, so we'll go with that. You're pretty good. Actually, most of Metal Gear Solid as a series was done before 2018, too, so... Vamp. Vamp's name's an odd one.
At Wing of Shoe super chatted $2. How don't you make money?
Nanomachines,
Sword
son. Nanomachines, son. And of course, it came up with the single greatest response to anyone online ever. Not through the game itself, but through the parody, which I will play for you right now because I love it that much. My favorite response to anything ever.
Shut up! That's why your mama dead, Jack. Dead as hell. What shoes she got on? A casket. That's why your granny ain't got no...
Hang on, where's the actual... Here we go, right here.
That's a nice argument.
No. This is it right here.
That's a nice argument, Senator. Why don't you back it up with a source?
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
I love that so much. Okay, back to this. Let's discuss. I'm getting sidetracked.
Fat cat-owning feminists are hoping you will forget, boys. They're hoping you will forget Metal Gear and Splinter Cell and Twisted Metal and Mega Man and Gears and...
You clearly forgot those games if you... Oh, Mega Man? You mean... Okay. Those cat-loving feminists. Let's go. Okay, so they're going to forget Splinter Cell. Golden Axe, specifically. Deus Ex. Freedom Fighters, Mega Man. You're not even showing Mega... Hang on a second. Forget Metal Gear, Twisted Metal, and you're not even showing Metal Gear or Twisted Metal. Freaking Golden Axe? Dude. Golden Axe 2 was one of the first games I ever played, and even I would never pretend that's anything more than, like, a decent beat-em-up game. Yeah, it's a good game, but, like, it's not, like... Also, you'd complain about Golden Axe, because Golden Axe 2, and I think the first one as well, has a woman as one of the main characters. So it's like... You know, you'd call that woke now if you did that. Also, by the way, I'm pretty sure all of these games had female developers on them. I guarantee it. I'm sure all of them had at least one person who developed it. Yeah, that's the other thing too. I was getting to Deus Ex as well, but you're right.
At Mantis1515 super chatted $2.72. Wait, did he just say Deus Ex wasn't political?
Yeah, Deus Ex isn't political. What are you talking about? It's just like my favorite apolitical film, The Matrix, and my favorite apolitical book, Neuromancer, and Snow Crash, and my favorite apolitical anime, Ghost in a Shell. There's nothing political about Cyberpunk at all that questions the existence of corporations and influence on your day-to-day life, the role of what it means to be human in a world that's further automated and mechanized and cybernized at all. Not in the least. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? This is the dumbest fucking shit I've ever seen in a very long time. Also, no one gives a fuck about freedom fighters. Like, of all these games, you have freedom fighters here? No one cares about... And it's dead center. It's dead center with Splinter Cell and Mega Man and Deus Ex around it? Jesus Christ. Golden Axe deserves better.
All of the unfathomably based games we used to play. But we will not forget.
Are you... Okay. All right. So as a New Jersey guy, you know, I was alive when 9/11 happened. I saw the Twin Towers on my skyline to go see my grandmother every time we went there. Seeing you invoke the memory of 9/11 for a stupid video game video when you don't live here? Sounds like stolen valor to me, Andypants, but what do you know about stolen valor? That's funny. That's silly. That's silly. Anyway.
I have assembled a list of what I think are the 25 most based video games of all time. Now, how did I define based for this list?
How do you define based?
To me, a based game simply means a game that rejects modern societal brainwashing.
Okay, remember that. Rejects modern societal brainwashing. I'm sure this won't come back into play. Write this down. Everyone, write this down. Rejects modern societal brainwashing. I am sure nothing he says will include women as main characters, gay people, black people, or anyone but white people as the protagonists, especially if the game comes from Japan. Because all Japanese games have white characters as the main focus, right? Like my favorite white person game, Yakuza. Jesus Christ, it's going to go wonderfully already.
I think a game is based when it rejects woke homo politics. A game is based when it is pro-masculinity and pro-femininity. A game is based when it has positive views about things like Christianity, religion, nationalism, and the military.
Nationalism as well. So you want fascist games.
At Itsuboy 562 super chatted $1.27. Foreshadowing is a narrative tool.
Foreshadowing is a literary device that... Exactly.
At WC Wit super chatted $5. Hang on, let me get a copy of Fascism out to compare his list of qualifiers to it.
Exactly. By the way, let me also point something out here that's very important that you all should notice. So he said that the game has to embrace femininity, right? That was a key component, right? Let me bring something up here that I think is interesting that he says that about. So the game Golden Axe, right? The original. When was the last time you looked at the character designs for Golden Axe? Right? When have you last looked at the characters from Golden Axe? Because I think this is important right here. Oh, Super Chat coming in. Oh, hey, what's going on, Cloud Parade? Woke homo politics is a phrase it is sending me. Oh, just wait, it gets better. So right here we have the three main characters of Golden Axe. What is particularly feminine about her? Like she has a brassiere on and you know whatever, but she's a couple pixels. Also, she has slightly more clothing on than the man does. She's more dressed than he is. What is particularly like? I would say personally that a warrior woman who has a bigger sword than the man does, by the way, her sword's bigger, in case you're curious, is the same height, but just about, make it look a little shorter, maybe, like a smidge shorter, is extremely beefy, extremely jacked. Kind of beats the purpose. I'd say, actually, she looks stronger than he does, quite frankly. So I'm like, I think already you've lost here, Andy. I think you fucked up already. Also, though everyone knows the masculine character, Mega Man, you know, this manly man, this particularly masculine figure of strength and testosterone. And of course, who could forget everyone's favorite masculine hero from before the... Oh yeah, I'll stop. You know I can keep going.
At Maryland 614 super chatted $2.04. Hates things being political, says political things.
Oh, exactly. Also, I want to point out something again. One of the games he pointed out was Deus Ex, and he asked, it promotes religion and nationalism.
At Zypher 8677 super chatted $2. Didn't we establish that warrior women was woke?
Yeah. So, are you saying that hang on a second. Are you saying that Andypants Gaming is lying to us? Chad, come on. Andypants would never lie to us. But I'm going to speed this up because I feel like if I don't set this to like faster speeds, we will be here for a very long time because this is a 40-minute video. And I will gladly watch every second of it, but still.
At Nick Wolf 3885 super chatted $1.99. He means box art Mega Man.
I traumatized Kinkymation with box art Mega Man. I love that.
Military, a game is based when it's difficult. High difficulty makes a game more based, in my opinion. And finally, a game can also be based just because it's funny and edgy and crude sometimes. A few other considerations. Number one, I'm sorry if your favorite game is not on the list. I'm sure there are thousands of games like EVE Online and Kenshi and some random JRPG that are very based, but I unfortunately cannot play everything, and this is my...
So you're saying that you're not actually... So of all time, already you've lost. Okay, fine, Andypants. Also, EVE Online is not a JRPG, I don't think? Let me double check that. Where's EVE... Where did EVE Online come from? Yeah, EVE Online is not a JRPG. That's freaking... Yeah, Stefan Grenade. Yeah, I was going to say EVE Online, that's a sci-fi game. That's a Western sci-fi game. So, and Kenshi... Yeah, Kenshi is also not a... It's also not an RPG, really. It's also not a JRPG. It's Western.
At MAlvarado_Iku super chatted $1.16. If high difficulty is based, then Celeste is based.
Yeah, Celeste is based, apparently. What's the problem with that? Oh, yeah, that's right. Trans representative. You would hate that.
At Ultramate 4330 super chatted $3.51. The most conservative game I can think of is probably America's Army, the game by the U.S. military.
Exactly.
My bet it's on this list.
Probably. Also, I can already tell you right now, he's probably not going to include Dragon Quest, which is already proof he doesn't know what he's talking about. Or Chrono Trigger.
My personal list. Number two, I threw a few oddballs in here. Red Dead 2 is obviously on this list, but you don't want to sit here and listen to me talk about 25 games you already know about. Number three, I tried to include games you can play right now on modern hardware. And number four, I tried to include both multiplayer and single-player games. All right, boys, let's get into it. Number 25, Freedom Fighters.
Freedom
I ask
Fighters.
you now to take up arms against the evil invaders and yell in their faces that they will never take our freedom.
Oh, so this takes the line from freaking Independence Day. We're talking about it. Like, oh man, okay, Freedom Fighters. Okay, what game is this? I've never played Freedom Fighters because I have taste. Freedom Fighters is from 2003, PlayStation 2, EA Games. Oh, hang on a second. So it's alt history. Soviet Union wins the Cold War, and is a rebel faction fighting against it. Okay, so it's basically, and it came out in 2003. So it's basically like a post 9/11 alt history story. Okay, it sounds fine. I'm seeing like decent reviews. It's EA Games in the 2000s, so it's probably ethically it'll piss me off because I hate EA Games. They're a terrible company, especially now. But even back then, they were voted like one of the worst companies in the world, like by a lot of people, by business interests and what have you back then too.
I have never played a game that needed a reboot as badly as 2003's Freedom Fighters. You are a plumber in New York City, and the country is being invaded and taken over by Russians, so you have to organize your fellow Americans to take up arms and fight back the invading Russian armies. It's the video game version of Red Dawn. This game could never come out today because it's way too patriotic and based for the soy boy beta cucks over at IGN. This would blow their minds. Oh, and the main chick still looks pretty good, even though this came out on PS2. When you
I don't think she looks particularly feminine, though. I think Andypants, I think you're a little, I think you're going against your based interests there. Also, Red Dead Redemption, not Red Dawn, yeah, sure, it can come out today. There's nothing about this is particularly controversial. This is pretty milquetoast, honestly. It's like, oh, hey, freedom, America. There's stuff like that all the time. I don't think there's anything particularly that couldn't happen. Like, this could come out today, it'd be fine. Who cares? You know, I mean, it's like, whatever. The bigger thing is if the gameplay is any good. And people saying it has, like, decent gameplay, yeah, it'd be fine. I don't care. This wasn't really remarkable when I was in the PlayStation era, so I don't think I ever played this. Because I was playing, you know, Devil May Cry, or God of War, or, like, freaking Kingdom Hearts instead. It's sure, whatever. Cool.
Capture a building, you get on the roof and claim it by waving the American flag. Guys, this game is going to give you a freedom boner. If you like this kind of game, I would also recommend Homefront and Homefront the Revolution. You can play Freedom Fighters in the Steam store.
Are you under the impression that Homefront is not particularly... I think, like, you've missed the point of Homefront, but I digress. Anyway. Yeah, like, it looks fine. It looks okay. Doesn't look particularly like anything special. There was that one Mercenaries game that LucasArts, I think, did back in the day. That was, I think, a little bit more... I'd say that's more... Looks like a better game than this. I remember you could, like, put a code in and you can replace the main guy with Han Solo or Indiana Jones. I was just doing Indiana Jones for the fun of it. Like, yeah, that's cool.
Or you can get an original copy on Xbox or PS2, but there aren't any other ways to play it. Number 24, L.A. Noire.
Okay, here's where I have an issue with what you're saying. So, you're saying the game has to be based and has to promote nationalism. And you're saying L.A. Noire, a game that embraces the idea that society is terrible, that every facet of life is heinous. Did you watch this and did you play this game and not realize that you're not supposed to like what's going on? Also, yeah, the game does have a very horrible production. The famously had a heinous production. Yeah, L.A. Noire is not nationalist. It is very... I think you missed the point. You're not supposed to watch the society of this era and think it's good. It actually shows how corrupt everything is.
You guys know I love GTA, but is there anything more based than just being a regular beat cop, minding your own business, collecting evidence, putting people behind bars, and occasionally grabbing a drink with a dame in 1940s LA?
Yeah, he missed the point of the game, didn't he? He didn't get the fucking game. Now, L.A. Noire is a great game. Don't get me wrong. This is a great game. It's a meme to this day for a reason. A list of great games includes L.A. Noire. Yeah, that's great. But it's like, it's dealing with trauma. It's dealing with people who are deeply screwed up by society. It's a game that is, yeah, mystery and supposed to tell if someone's lying or not. But it's not particularly anything he described. It's just a good story, you know? And well, he's looking at it through a very superficial lens. Like, oh yeah, GTA, L.A. Noire, basically the same game. I'm like, really? Like...
If you liked Mad Men, I think you will like L.A. Noire. Even though Rockstar made it, it is truly the opposite of GTA in every way. You play a good guy doing regular police missions in Los Angeles in the 40s. The facial capture was groundbreaking for its time. And so you actually need to watch people's faces to figure out if they're lying or not. And I've never seen another game do this and actually pull it off. What makes the game so based is that it doesn't take any of our modern sensibilities and project it onto the game world. L.A. Noire truly shows the time period as it was. Most women are housewives, men are funny and edgy and inappropriate, your partner is super racist, etc. The gameplay can be a bit repetitive sometimes, but
That's what you took away from it? That there's housewives, there's characters who are openly racist? And you took that as like, oh, it's a good thing. Like, no, it's not. It's presented as a negative. Everyone's miserable. I don't think you got the point of the game. Like, Also, Mad Men's not the same era as the 40s. It's multiple decades removed, actually. Like, Mad Men's like the 60s and 70s. This is like completely different. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, wait a second. I'm like Mad Men's in the 60s, right? Like, that's like, they're discovering cigarettes are bad at that point. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's like, yeah, those games great because your partner's racist. Like, you're not looking at the fact that there's traumatized military veterans in the game, or that there's open corruption at play. Also, this is not based on reality. It's based on the films from the 40s. You would know that, you dumbass, if you watched them.
3893 super chatted $5. Why do conservative think progressive hate everything that is America? Like, just because we are critical of America somehow mean we hate it?
Yeah, exactly. It's funny. I think this country, I'll be honest, the country can be great. I always love that one speech from, and I know it's from, what was the show with is it the Newsroom? Was that what it was? Where there's this whole big speech where it's like, America can be great, and it goes over the things America doesn't. This is back in, I think, the mid 2000s. All the out we're number 49th in education, this, that, and the other, and it's like, we have the potential to be great, and it's like, oh, the Newsroom, there you go, is Newsroom, yeah. And it's like this great speech about how America is not living up to its potential, but it could. It's the same. It's Aaron Sorkin. It's Aaron Sorkin. So if he said The West Wing, it's the same. It's the same guy. He said the American president, same thing. Jeff Daniels. There we go. I was trying to blank on Jeff Daniels' name. And he's going on this whole big thing, and it's a fantastic speech to illustrate that America is not living up to its potential, but it could. And all of that is, through Aaron Sorkin's neoliberal perspective, which I think is not the path forward, but that was his perspective, and that's great. It's very, very good. Oh, welcome, Jeff. Welcome. There is potential here in this country to be amazing. The problem is there's corruption, obviously, and OtterlyNoah explores the corruption of its era, just like a modern thing would explore the corruption of our era. That's what it is. Is he in jail yet? Not yet. He's still making videos. It came out a couple days ago, in fact. That's the gist of it, And of course, there's certain institutions that are doing a lot of harm, but, what are you going to do? Anyway, I digress. So, he missed the point of this game entirely. OtterlyNoah is not a representation of LA accurately. It's a representation of the cinema of the 40s. Your neo-noirs, classic era of noir filmmaking.
I appreciate OtterlyNoah's devotion to a time period and not censoring anything by injecting modern woke nonsense. The remastered version is perfect and can be played on PS5 and Series X. Number 23, the Mafia games. Mafia 1 with Tommy Angelo and Mafia 2 with Vito Scaletta are definitely the best GTA-type games out there that follow a straight sort of Italian mob story. If you wanted a GTA-style game that ditches the humor and silliness in its...
But, Andy, you're promoting immigrants now. That's not nationalism. You're focusing on the story of outsiders coming into the country. Okay, first off, as an Italian American, let me tell you, the mafia has no influence on any part of your life. It doesn't exist. There's no such thing as the mafia. Okay, did we get the cops out of the thing? Okay, cool. I'm kidding. So, yeah, no, this is fucking stupid. Basically, he just said, I want a pro-America, pro-masculine, nationalistic, and then decided to go the complete opposite, because nationalism often involves isolating immigrants from the country. Italian Americans were fleeing from nationalism in the 30s and 40s because Benito Mussolini took over the country, and many Italians fled to America for an opportunity of freedom, where they created a system of control for themselves because they were isolated from the forces of society. If you are watching and praising a mafia story, you are watching a movie or praising a story where marginalized people who were second-class citizens due to racism and bigotry formed their own society in opposition to a world that rejected them. Every single Italian mob story, at its core, is about the immigrant experience on some level. Yes, the Wave Runner. Thank you. Anthony Gabagool sends his regards. Yeah, exactly. Looks like Luca Brazzi is sleeping with the fishes. Frickin', it's a Sicilian message. Yeah, no. The Godfather is exactly that. And that's why The Godfather is the greatest 2 movies of all time. And then there's a third.
At Itsuboy 562 super chatted $3.18. There is no Easter Bunny, there is no Tooth Fairy, and there is no Mafia.
Exactly. All right, let's keep going. We're going to be on
Instead gives you essentially a video game version of The Godfather. You're going to get that here. What makes these games so based is that they're steeped in Italian culture, the mob, family, loyalty, sacrifice, and all of these things that we have to deal with in life as men. I think Mafia...
Andy, you're not Italian. What the fuck are you talking about? What is Andypants Gaming's actual? Let me look this up. Hang on. Andy, you're not. Okay, Andy, you're not. I don't think you're Italian. I'm just pointing it out right now. I'm not sure you're Italian. I'm just pointing it out right now. As all Italians as men, and never any women. That's why there's no women in The Godfather who play a major role in the story. Also, did you see The Godfather Part 2? Because there's a major scene involving a certain character played by Diane Keaton in that movie that may actually reject what you're talking about. Also, the theme of The Godfather is not that men are great, it's that a man who takes care of his family is great. But a man who prioritizes success and anger and vengeance over his family will be ultimately left with nothing. The tragedy of The Godfather is that Michael Corleone actually expands the empire his father started. From purely the business perspective, he is better situated at the end of Godfather Part 2 than his father, Vito Corleone, is at his death. But Vito died a happy man surrounded by his family, at least who was still alive anyway. He died playing with his grandson in the garden, whereas Michael Corleone ends Godfather Part 2 completely alone, having killed or isolated himself from anyone who could possibly ever show him any form of love, including his wife, played by Diane Keaton, who, again, I don't want to spoil the movie for you that's over 50 years old, but I might imply it anyway, does something that Andypants Gaming would think is completely unethical and part of a woke ideology. Just putting it out there, buddy. Yeah, R.I.P. Diane Keaton. Absolutely fantastic actress.
3 is okay, but it was weird because it totally ditched the whole Italian mob thing, and you play as a black guy in the South. You can watch my video about that. Hangar 13 is about to come out with a new Mafia game in a few months, so replaying these games would get you ready for it.
So it's weird because a black guy was in it. Suspicious.
Mafia 1 was completely recreated in 2020 with gorgeous graphics, and it's called Mafia Definitive Edition. The problem is that they censored a few things in this game, like, quote, problematic music and problematic pinup girls were removed. So if you want the real...
Was it problematic, or did it lose the license to the songs? Like, what's the answer there, buddy? Let me take a look at that real quick. Let's see the actual... Let's fact check Andypants Gaming real quick here, shall we? Let's look right here. Okay, here we go. So Steam community. View. Anything censored. The gorgeous pinups have been replaced by generic pulp magazines. Some of the problematic music has been changed. Some of the missions have been tightened up and edited somewhat. Some dialogue and character personalities have been indeed changed. The original is more epic in scope. Okay, someone said that. Okay. So it looks like it took away some
At
pinups
Maryland
from generic pulp
614 super chatted $2.04. That's too intellectual for him, Ant.
Yeah, true.
Too woke. Lol.
And honestly, pulp magazines would be more accurate at the time period anyway, because even though they were pinup models, they typically were a little less scandalous than you might think. You know, there were some, but it wasn't as prevalent. And you wouldn't put it out in polite company either, is the thing.
experience, you still have to find the 2002.
Like Italians, Italian culture back then, if you had that in the middle of like your family room, something like that, you would be treated like white trash.
Game. With Mafia 2, I would just play the original 2010 game instead of the 2020 version. They barely improved the graphics at all in the 2020 remaster of Mafia 2, and you know they did some woke censorship in there, I'm sure, as well. Number 22.
Oh God, Tom Clancy. Again, I knew it was inevitable.
At Blue Baron 6858 super chatted $2. Crazy that these weirdo have just been so mask off.
Well, they think they won the culture war. That's why they're mask off. They think they won. But I think the Bad Bunny presentation showed otherwise. The Super Bowl halftime show had a viewership, I think, of 100 million, something like that, simultaneously. A big number. The Puppy Bowl had about like 13 million. Turning Point USA had 4. So whenever anyone says that, everyone watched Kid Rock instead. No, they didn't. The culture war has been won, but not in the direction they think it did. Which is honestly probably better for the grifters, because now they have something to grift about.
Tom Clancy's The Division. So
not even a good Tom Clancy game. I'm sorry, I never liked The Division. I always thought it sucked. Splinter Cell was way better.
Turns out if you take the gear and loot system from the old Diablo games and you combine that with a Tom Clancy game, it's some kind of crack that my body can't handle, because I put 1,500 hours into this game.
Diablo? Really? Diablo is your comparison to this? There's like a generic, there are a ton of games like this coming out. Okay.
Back in 2017. I still pop in from time to time and see people killing each other in the Dark Zone, and it makes me happy. The Division 1 really was a phenomenon. I still think The Division is the coolest concept for a game, and they mostly pulled it off. You arm up and take back New York City from thieves.
1 second.
At WC Wit super chatted $2. Woke in 2026. Don't call it a comeback.
Basically, yeah. I mean, it's coming back. Of course it is. Everything comes back.
Thieves and burglars, but you enter the Dark Zone and screw over other players as well. 2016 was a time when Ubisoft actually put in the effort to make their games gorgeous.
No, there were a ton of glitches, actually, when it came out. When this game first came out, it was almost unplayable. They had to update it to make it work. So this game actually was not that good when it was on release. It had to be patched. It was kind of similar to, not to the same extent as Cyberpunk, but it was not working properly. It took a lot of effort to make the game functional. But at least he's talking about gameplay, so I guess that's fine.
All of the cosmetics in the game look realistic, and almost nothing in the game is goofy. But what really hooked me about The Division is the fact that your gear levels aren't normalized when you step into a PvP area. So basically, if you grinded for 100 hours to get the very best guns and armor in this game, it would make you way more powerful than everybody else, as it should. What's the point of grinding for the best stuff if it won't let you blow other players away? I remember...
Yeah, but that's not as interesting. That makes you rely too much on, leveling up in a multiplayer game and less on skill. That's one of the reasons I didn't like the game too much. You should have a sense that the game should be balanced to make things interesting to some extent. Oh yeah, remember Angry Joe's review? Yeah, he was pissed. I remember that.
At Wing of Shoe super chatted $2. I remember Angry Joe's review, actually.
Yeah, I remember being pissed about it, if I remember correctly. The thing also is, leveling up and grinding is great, but, I don't know. In multiplayer games, it's not fun if it's, you just start playing for the first time, and it's you run up against a guy who's been, grinding for so fucking long. I think it's fine, but, I don't know. It's not as enjoyable. It rewards long play, but it's not... I don't know. If I'm going to load into a game, I'd like it to be, a skill-based game, where you can lose because you played worse than the other guy. When I'm playing Marvel Rivals, for example, and I lose, it's because I didn't play well enough. I didn't do something right. I fucked this up. I didn't do this right. This is you grinded longer, therefore you get a higher point value. In a JRPG, it's fun because you're playing the game from start to finish single player. But in a multiplayer game, it's now you're facing someone who grinded for 15 hours, and you're playing at the periphery of your day, and it's I can never get good at it because I can't get a high enough number value. I can't get better at the gameplay, which sucks.
Remember Destiny did this thing where it would normalize your gear in PvP modes, and I always thought that was very lame, and it was cool that The Division does not do that.
Yeah, because you can't play the game. You have to use high numbers to win.
You're probably not going to put 100 hours into this game, so what I suggest doing is picking it up very cheap and just play the survival DLC. Guys, the survival DLC, which came out in 2017, was like several years ahead of our modern obsession with roguelikes. You truly have to play this game mode to see it. It is one of the funnest gaming moments I've ever had. I've had several friends playing this game. On the surface, I think...
Roguelikes that high. Okay, so you clearly never played Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, which was a roguelike back in like the 2000s. There were roguelikes for decades before the Division. What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, don't play the game, play the DLC. Like, okay, great recommendation there. Great. Game's based. Don't play it.
The Division seems like a Gears of War clone or something, but there's a lot of beauty and complexity going on here. The Division 2 was super woke and lame, but this one was good. Number 21, Batman Arkham City. Isn't it depressing that this...
You think Batman Arkham City is nationalistic and traditionally feminine? Did I forget like fucking Talia al Ghul, Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn, Catwoman as like anything but like the most? Did I forget all about the plot of the game being Batman fighting the infrastructure of Gotham itself, of Arkham itself?
The studio's most recent game was Suicide Squad. What makes this game so based is it's telling an authentic masculine Batman story where he is a total badass, saving Gotham, and there's all these hot temptresses constantly trying to distract him. Also from a gameplay...
They're not trying to distract him, they have their own objectives. Like, Talia al Ghul isn't there just to have sex with Batman. She's there because she has a mission. Catwoman isn't there to seduce Batman exclusively. She's there because she has a mission. Also, Batman fails at his final objective, which is to save the Joker. Like, he fails to save the Joker when he was going to. So, is that necessarily super masculine Batman who solves all problems? Like, what do you... Also, hot temptresses. So, when does Harley Quinn try tempting Batman? When was that a thing Harley Quinn tried doing? In the game where she's obsessed with the Joker. Also, yeah, seducing Batman is Joker's objective. Yeah, exactly.
Play standpoint, I think Arkham City changed melee fighting games forever and is still the benchmark for this sort of thing. Arkham Asylum felt maybe too small. Arkham Knight, the Batmobile gets boring quick. But Arkham City had that perfect mixture of amazing story, great gameplay, and Batman just cruising around the city, smashing villains' heads into air conditioners. You can play it on Series X or PS5 right now. Number 20.
Oh, he had nothing to say about this game. He had very little to say. Gameplay's good. Yeah, he had to force it. It's a very masculine story. Okay, what's masculine about it? Hot temptresses, like Harley Quinn. Also, the combat in Arkham City is, again, just building off of what Arkham Asylum did first. So it's like, I don't know. Also, he had nothing to say about Batman Arkham Asylum, one of the greatest games of all time. He had said much to say about
At Wing of Shoe super chatted $2. Pokemon MD is based off of a Dragon Quest spin-off.
That's true.
At Ultramate 4330 super chatted $1.40. They love Batman cause he's billionaire.
You would think that, but you never brought it up. That's the weird thing. Like, bring it up, you know? Open an opportunity there for that.
Far Cry 2.
Okay.
So if you want to play a game with an awesome story where you crash land on an exotic island and save your friends that has really fun gameplay, play Far Cry 3. You know, it's a great game, it's a proven formula, and every Far Cry game after 3 basically copied that same formula. But if you want to play African Militia Warlord Simulator in a really hostile...
What?
At Jeff Pyatt 2K4 super chatted $2. Batman the comic that caused a gay panic masculine.
Yeah, no, exactly. This is also the game with Robin and all that in it, too. Actually, is Robin in Arkham City? Now I'm down myself. No, I don't think it does have Robin. Is Robin in Arkham City? Huh. Now I'm drawing a blank. I got to play Arkham City again.
Country where everything wants to kill you and it's really bleak and nihilistic, play Far Cry 2. What makes this game so based is that it's the only game I've ever played that ditched all the video gamey nonsense and actually makes you believe you are the person in the game doing these actions. You are a militia guy there to kill people.
That's the only game that made you think that?
At Maryland 614 super chatted $5.11. And I feel that dudes like him and Nolan can't tell the difference between Batman and James Bond.
Oh, yeah, no.
Uses forests for grass, not even
100%.
trees.
100%. Oh, yeah, Tim Drake Robin was in DLC. Okay, cool. I knew he was in that game somewhere. Okay, cool. Okay, no mini games, no leveling up, no skins, no gay stuff, no skill trees. But wait a second, Andy, I thought that leveling up was good. That's what Division told me. So, a game with no mini games, no leveling up, no skins, and no skill trees makes you feel immersed in the game. Okay. So with that logic, then Sonic the Hedgehog... Okay, Sonic the Hedgehog has mini games. Okay, never mind. I was making a joke. So basically, Bubsy 3D is the best game. It has all those qualities as well. And no gay stuff in it either. There we go.
At Olivia_Williams_purple_fairy super chatted $3.65. Tim Drake has a brief appearance in City, and he's one of the main character of the DLC.
Exactly. Also, by the way, what does any of this have to do with the base qualities of nationalism and manly men and feminine women? Like, I don't know.
There's no mini games, no leveling up, no skill trees, no weapon skins, no video gamey ass nonsense. Also, you never...
No video gamey ass nonsense. You have a map with a cursor on it right here and little icons on it. No video gamey nonsense, but you have the most while showing the most video gamey nonsense right here.
At the Misnick fan super chatted $2. No mini games? Does he just hate joy?
Yes, he does.
Person in the game doing these actions. You are a militia guy there to kill people. There's no mini games, no leveling up, no skill trees, no weapon skins, no video gamey ass nonsense. Also, you never leave the first person perspective, so the atmosphere and immersion in this game is absolutely peak. Also, it's really, really difficult, and I recommend playing it on the hardest difficulty for peak immersion. Far Cry 3, 4, 5, and 6 are all fun games with lots of video gamey stuff to do. Far Cry 2 is almost meant to confront you with the bleakness of what it means to be a contract killer.
What about Spec Ops The Line? That's a pretty masculine game where you feel immersed in the character. But I think he hates that game probably, though, because it's like, actually socially aware about something.
In a foreign country. I popped into it recently and I was messing around with the buddy system a bit more. Basically, you have these totally optional buddies in the game you can help out, and they help to make the game sort of less lonely. It also lends a much needed narrative to the game. So the game isn't on PS5, but you can definitely play it on the Series X, the Xbox 360, and the PC, and also the PS3.
Also, so he didn't play a huge chunk of the game until fairly recently? Okay.
So I should mention that Far Cry 5 is accidentally pretty based as well. Check out the song Keep Your Rifle by Your Side. It's funny because Ubisoft wanted you to hate the cult in this game, and yet this is the most based song of all time, and it's about the villains in the game. So yeah. Number 19.
Oh, so he's just a dumbass then. He's just a moron. Oh my god, he is saying Yakuza. I was joking about that before. Oh my god, you're serious. You're serious? Yakuza? Okay. For those who don't know, I'm just going to show you a bit of Yakuza 0 here. I want you all to be able to see this. Okay. For those who don't know.
At the Wayrunner super chatted $2. Yakuza is 80% dumb minigames.
Right? Yeah, exactly. It's all dumb minigames. Like, almost all the game is stupid minigames and stupid, wonderful moments. Also, it's an extremely...
At Kyle Merrill 4,495 super chatted $5. Far Cry 2 has a villain who literally a gun smuggler who literally profits off of people deaths. And you can play as an Asian man fake fan TBH.
Let's be honest here. He didn't play a huge chunk of the game until recently. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about with the games he recommends or likes.
At Maryland 614 super chatted $2.04. Just plays games to kill PPL, objectify women.
Exactly. I just want to point this out right here. This is the game he's saying is based in if you will. Most masculine game ever, guys. This is what he's saying. That's why I'm going to keep this up and come back to it whenever he says something stupid about Yakuza 0.
Yakuza 0. I was told Yakuza 0 is basically Japanese GTA, and man, was that person wrong. Yakuza 0 is a prequel to the Yakuza games, and it is unfathomably based. It takes place during the economic boom of the 1980s in Japan, and you follow the story of two exiled Yakuza, Kiryu and Majima, who show up in the other games a lot. The Yakuza games are masters of the likable, warm-hearted criminal who has been disgraced and done wrong. In these games, you're a Yakuza doing gangster stuff, and there's loads and loads of mini-games and side activities.
But I thought mini-games were bad, though. You just said there's no mini-games makes it more based.
The actual fighting in the game feels a bit dated, and it's almost like you're playing a Dreamcast game, but it can be enjoyable. What makes Yakuza 0 so based is its story. The game has one of the best stories and some of the best voice acting and character development I've ever seen in a game. It's about 30 to 40 hours long, and to me, the gameplay is kind of the least interesting part, so you might just want to watch this game played on YouTube instead of playing it. The game is available on PS4, PS5.
Wait. So you're saying don't play the game that I'm recommending? As I'm point out, again, this is the game he just recommended. Let me get a good clip here. 1 second. Don't forget, this is the game he's talking about. The manly... Oh! This is the game that he thinks he's saying is based. Because... And don't forget, his based means super manly, super traditional, nationalistic, no woke stuff. Andypants Gaming, don't play the game, just watch someone else play it on YouTube.
5 Xbox and all modern systems.
Jesus.
Number 18, the Grand Theft Auto series. The thing that makes GTA so based is that it doesn't really care about your feelings or your modern politics or your delicate sensibilities. It is one of the funniest and edgiest game series you will ever play, as I often say on my channel.
Do you not understand how the GTA series is making fun of modern society? You know, like it's almost a parody. Do you not pick up on that? Like it's if you ever listen to the radio while playing GTA and you have all the stupid like talk show stuff and commercials, it's absolutely engaging with that by showing how absurd our media is, by showing how absurd we are with our obsession with violence and death. It mocks everything. It mocks everyone. And it's great. It mocks every single thing at once. That's the point of the game.
At WC Wit super chatted $2. Isn't GTA 4 about the immigrant experience?
Yes, it is. It's entirely about the immigrant experience, much like the Mafia games. It's about Russian immigrants coming to America for opportunity. And he's all about nationalism and all this, but nationalism is anti-immigrant. They don't want people coming into the country. That's a nationalist perspective. So Andypants, by his own logic, is consistently contradicting his themes of nationalism. It's not patriotism, by the way. Don't confuse nationalism with patriotism. Nationalism is exclusionary. Patriotism is exemplary. When you're patriotic, you believe in the potential of the country. Nationalism means that the country has to be protected and purified to be great.
At Detective Lizard 9532 super chatted $1.40. The best part about Yakuza 0 is 24-hour Cinderella.
Exactly. Well, what is it's been a while since I played Nico, cousin, let's go bowling. It's been a while since I played GTA 4. So I thought he was Russian. Wasn't he Russian? Oh, Balkans. There we go. The Balkans. I always forget that. It's been fucking years since I played GTA 4, my guy. So I'm sorry about that. Yeah, okay. So he's from the Balkans. There we go. Cool. Oh, yeah. Serbia. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Thanks for that. Thanks for the reminder. I you know, it's funny. You know, you play these games from a while ago and you're like, oh, yeah, it's Russian, right? Because I always think of because what's funny is I always do the whole, like, who was I doing this with the other day? I always make the joke about, like, he was with his cousin. He's like, oh, Nico, cousin, let's go bowling. And it's like, oh, for the last time. And we always do like a Russian accent while making fun of that. So I think my brain told me, oh, he's Russian, right? Like, okay, that makes more sense. Cool. Awesome. Exposed myself for a fake fan for not having played GTA 4 in the like last 15 years. Yeah, it's been fucking ages. Anyway, back to this.
Now, I doubt this trend will continue with GTA 6 because they have 500 purple-haired lesbians working for them now, but what I can say for sure is that GTA San Andreas, Vice City, GTA 4, and GTA 5 are some of the edgiest and funniest games you can play to this day. I mean, there's a radio station in San Andreas that makes fun of trans people. Come on. Can you imagine that in a game today?
That's the part that makes you that's the thing. Okay, hang on. You have all the potential to talk about how good of a game GTA is, and your selling point is it makes fun of trans people. Not realizing it also makes fun of the politicians in charge of the country, as well as every element of American society. And the fact that it makes fun of one person who doesn't like means you can
At
ignore
Kyle
everything
Merrill,
else.
4,495 super chatted $2. Anthony Cousin, let's go bowling.
No, for the last time, calamari. I'm not going bowling with you. Fine, I'll pick you up. Where are you? Yeah, exactly. Wait, you're correct on this one.
At the Waverunner super chatted $5. Trevor is very heavily implied to be bi, pan, and GTA 4 literally has The Ballad of Gay Tony DLC.
Yeah, exactly. So you have the Ballad of Gay Tony in your game. He's saying that's based. Gay Tony is based according to Andypants. So let's not let him forget. Everyone, make sure that Andypants members, thank you for recommending the Ballad of Gay Tony to us all, Andypants Gaming. That's essential. That's essential stuff.
Today. Now, I know for some people going back and playing the original games can be hard because so much has changed with game controls and things like that.
Hard?
If you're the one person on Earth who has never played a GTA game, I would honestly recommend GTA 5. People hate on it because of GTA Online, but the fact is that GTA 5 is still one of the best stories ever in a video.
What's hard about GTA? What are you talking about? Hard? GTA hard.
At
Okay.
Kolorazarich super chatted $5. I've been listening for 5 minutes and I'm wondering how the hell this guy has any followers. He's absolutely ignorant and confident in that ignorance.
Yeah. Well, morons who are confident tend to attract a lot of other people who aren't actually listening to what they have to say. They just hear the voice and go, yeah, that's right. That sounds about right. Guy's a big channel, so I'm not punching down on this guy. But the reality is, he's saying that GTA 3, San Andreas, Vice City, all of which have cheat codes you can insert to make the game easier, is too hard. Okay.
At WC Wit super chatted $5. GTA San Andreas made fun of trans people because everyone made fun of trans people back then. It wasn't special for that, but the all too tragic norm.
Yeah, it's not unusual. It was just unfortunately, it was the common joke at the time.
At
It just changed since then.
Thinavo3893 super chatted $10. Basically, it is based if it make fun of minority, but it is woke if it make fun of conservative. This guy will throw tantrum when GTA 6 make fun of Trump supporters.
They made fun of Trump back in San Andreas, really in Vice City, really, that type of person, you know?
At Emereliot 2168 super chatted $5. Hey, just made a video hating on GTA because of the online.
There you go. It's not bad. You know, I don't think GTA Online.
At Dalman5 super chatted $5. GTA 4 poking Fun Street conservatives. I love my wife, I love my country, but I won't go down south for either one. Andy's being the butt of the joke.
He doesn't get it, though. That's the thing. He has to be intelligent to get that joke. That's the problem. He didn't get that.
At Zypher 8677 super chatted $2. I am about to show friends Eva for first time tonight.
Oh, good luck. That'd be interesting. I'm curious how it goes. Hopefully it goes well. I love Evangelion, obviously. Yeah, no, but the problem is that the game makes fun of you to your face. That's the point, and it's the fun of it. It's a hyper reality, you know? It's an elevated reality. It takes, again, immigrant experience, pop culture. Also, San Andreas is almost entirely black people. Like, most of the game is black. A lot of the game is black. And Andypants had mentioned that part. So it's like his offense at the presence of black people is very conditional. You notice that? I don't know.
Video game, I think personally, it has really fun gameplay and action. So do yourself a favor and play the campaign for GTA 5, and it's of course available on everything.
I wouldn't even say the GTA 5 campaign's all that great. I think 4 is a better campaign. Same with San Andreas. I think that's a better campaign. Anyway, I digress.
17,
Trevor's
the
good, though.
Saboteur. Did you guys know all it takes is a few edgy Zoomer YouTubers to convince quite a few people that the Nazis were the good guys? Guys, it's cringe. Hitler invaded 20 countries unprovoked. The dude wanted to exterminate all the non-white people. World
Say what?
War II was not about saving the Jews. It was about saving the 390 million people who lived in Europe in 1940. While I do agree that the Nazis are too often the
Andy, we entered World War II because the Japanese bombed us. What the fuck are you
At
talking
Olivia
about?
underscore Williams underscore purple underscore fairy super chatted $3.65. Vice City main character is Italian American, another immigrant story.
Exactly. Again, every mob story is an immigrant story. It's like the complete opposite of nationalism. It runs in the face of nationalism. I'm just kind of confused what that has to do with anything. You're talking about a Nazi killing game, but it's like what are you fucking going on about, Andy? Like, Andy, we entered World War II. America entered World War II because Japan bombed us. Also, this is a big element of World War II you're ignoring. We also entered Japan first in the African front, where we liberated Africa from the Italians who invaded there, along with the European front. But the Italian front was, the southern Italian front was fought first. Like what the fuck you Germany fell extremely quickly when they got to Europe.
At
Very
Itsuboy
fast.
562 super chatted $1.27. His source is he made it the fuck up.
Exactly. Like, I don't think you realize this, Andypants. After D-Day,
At
Germany
Erminita
fell.
Rule super chatted $1.99. Andy's divorce did a number on his psyche.
Oh, it really did. He also seemed to have no clue about how brief a window of time the fight in Europe actually went. Once they invaded Europe, the Nazis folded like fucking paper. Because Nazis opened up a war in two fronts. Like, they screwed themselves up badly with that. Japan was the biggest enemy America had in 1940s World War II. Yeah. And they lasted the longest, too.
the punching bag in every modern story and movie, and many of the things that they were fighting for were admirable. Guys, the Nazis are the bad guys. I seriously can't believe that people disagree with me on this. And that's why America and Britain and Canada and Australia had to come all the way to Germany in 1943 and push their shit in.
Hey, what's this right here? This second front. Who was over there again? Who was fighting also? You mentioned, I feel like you forgot one country that was instrumental in defeating the Nazis. It's funny you forgot that one, though.
But anyways, all this to say, the Nazis are objectively the bad guys. So moving on, did you ever want to play a GTA game, but it's the 1940s and you're beating up Germans instead and bringing freedom to France? Of course you did. In the Saboteur, you play...
Oh, I get it now. That's what he's doing. Okay. Let's take a step back, guys. This is what Andypants is doing right now. He knows his audience is pro-Nazi. And he's trying to justify to his audience it's okay to hate Nazis. He's aware his audience is all Nazis. And he has to calm them down. This isn't for our benefit. It's for his benefit. So his audience doesn't eat him alive. That's what he's doing. Because no one with a normal audience would have to convince them the Nazis in World War II were the bad guys. Because you say, no, it's not because of the Jews. We had to save Europe. White people, not the Jewish people. Ew, gross. No, we had to save Europe. He has to decentralize
At
the
Olivia
Jews to talk
underscore
about
Williams
justify fighting
underscore
Nazis.
purple underscore fairy super chatted $3.65. Canada, Britain, and Australia had been at this long before 1943.
Yeah, America got late in the game.
At the Misnik fan super chatted $5. If it's about a saboteur helping liberate France, it had better be about Virginia Hall.
I've seen you say, dude, you can be conservative and hate Nazis. Like, seriously? Yeah, you can. You can. So why does he have to justify to his audience the Nazis were bad? It's not a matter of conservative. It's a matter of Andypants specifically. He is aware he has curated an audience of the alt-right, of a reactionary type. And as a result of that, he has to work extra hard to convince his audience the Nazis were the bad guys. That is what this is saying. He had to work extremely hard to convince that. That's the problem. It has nothing to do with conservatives. It has to do with Andypants specifically. Yeah, conservatives and Nazis not the same thing. Not at all. Not saying that. But I am saying that he specifically has curated an audience who are apologizing for who are trying to ignore the Holocaust and trying to reframe history. And so he has to work extra hard to convince them that the history of the world actually happened. That's interesting. That's funny. He's aware of it too.
Play a scrappy Irishman, Sean Devlin, who is a total player and a race car driver and is working for the French underground to take down the Nazis. The most unique thing about this game was that when you go into an enemy area, everything is red and black, and when you bring freedom to that area, the color returns to it. The story is actually pretty great in this game. Sean is a race car driver using that as a cover, and there's loads of fine women trying to hook up with him constantly. It's fantastic. One
fine women like the Nazis? Okay.
thing that's slightly better than GTA here is the parkour system. Saboteur had a pretty great parkour system where you could approach objectives from multiple angles and scale structures. What is based about the Saboteur? Well,
that's not parkour. He's the wonderful thing is the parkour system shows him standing still on a moving platform. Yeah, I love the parkour system where you stand still and don't duck for cover behind cover to shoot. You just stand still like a rod.
Based because it reminds me of the golden era of video games, back when games were just escapist male fantasy. You know, you're a race car driver, there's tons of hot women, you're blowing stuff up, and you're killing Nazis. The Saboteur is super underrated. It is a great game. Try to put your hands on it. You can play it on the EA app on PC, but otherwise you'll have...
You notice that all the games he likes are fucking EA games? They're all EA games. Almost all of them are EA games. You noticing that? Like I think about of all these, like it's Ubisoft and EA for the vast majority of these games. I don't know. Game looks fine. I don't know.
Have to get an original copy for 360 or PS3. Number 16, the Call of Duty series. I would have Call of Duty higher on this list if the recent games had not gone fully gay and woke the past 5 years. If you remember...
Fully gay and woke for the past 5 years. It's the same game series, dude. Calm the fuck down. You know, nothing's changed. Jesus Christ. All of them. All of these mid-fucking games. Hot take. Here's my hot take about Call of Duty. Even among like the war shooters, Call of Duty was never particularly that great. I got eaten by AI, exactly, yeah. But does that even change anything? You know, the games are still terrible. It is a lifeless carcass that has been reanimated constantly for consumption again and again and again. This is the Madden NFL of shooter games. And the only good game was Modern Warfare. And that was only marginally decent compared to what was also coming at the same time. Because I would say between Modern Warfare and Halo, I got more enjoyment out of Halo. No, not Halo 3. Halo. The original Halo. I'm talking about. The game at that point was like 7 or 8 years old. Right, I guess 5 years old, I guess.
At Mantis1515 super chatted $2.72. Ah yes, my favorite gay franchise, Call of Duty.
Exactly. I remember when that was coming out, people would just play Call of Duty for the zombie minigame. People would just go like, yeah, I don't play Call of Duty for the plot. I play for the zombies. Yeah, no, because fuck everything else, you know?
From my recent COD video, Black Ops 6 makes a point of mocking and laughing at its old fans, and so many people keep buying these games even though they're garbage now. But it wasn't always this way. Call of Duty was ultra-based for like 15 years. World at War, the torture scene, the Russians storming the Reichstag and planting their flag, Price nuking the satellite in orbit, being betrayed by General Shepard in MW2, the opening mission in MW1 where you play as President Yasser al-Falani getting assassinated. Call of Duty wasn't just based back in 2007, it was actually pushing the medium forward as well. Can you imagine games like Medal of Honor and Call of Duty coming out today that are unapologetically pro-military and pro?
Yes, they still come out. They're still pro-military. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, can you imagine this game that still is coming out to come out today? Like, yes. I can't imagine it, actually. People are still playing Counter-Strike. Yeah, obviously. Like what the fuck are you talking about?
America. I mean, I understand that the modern warfare games are complex and geopolitical and often question the actions of the American government as well, but it wasn't until 2020 or so that Activision began to show its true gay colors and depict
true gay colors. It's the same
At
fucking
Maryland
game.
614 super chatted $2.04, waiting for Andy to be super pro CIA. Woof.
Oh, he already is like a nationalist who thinks torture is good. You know, like, actually, he might love Hellraiser. Shout out in comments, type 1 if you think Andypants Gaming would love being a Cenobite. Let's see if he likes that. He loves torture so much. That's what I'm talking about.
picked America as the bad guys. So first off, if you want to play the old games, make sure you don't give gay communist Activision another dollar, so never buy these games digitally. I would recommend buying a physical copy on Amazon of some of these old games. World at War is probably one of the best campaigns of all time. Modern Warfare 2, another incredible one. If you can get your hands on a physical copy, I think...
See, I don't like any of those games. Like, the original Modern Warfare was the best one. I think the old school Call of Duty games in World War II, Medal of Honor was more enjoyable, I thought. Personally, I got more fun out of that anyway.
COD World War II from 2017 was actually the last good COD campaign. Just make sure modern woke Activision doesn't get any of your money. Number 15, Gears of War. Marcus Phoenix.
I never liked the series at all that much. Oh, cool. Hey, welcome to a member for 1 month. Famous communist organization, Activision. Yeah, famously. Because it's gay, apparently. Who knows what the fuck he talks about?
Phoenix is unfathomably based. Gears 1 starts with him being broken out of prison to fight the Locust. He was put there because he deserted his post in order to save his father. He's cynical of his own military, yet he knows the COG are humanity's best chance for survival. So it's a complex situation. What makes the first three Gears games so iconic is that they are a boots-on-the-ground war story about brotherhood, devotion, duty, and sacrifice. The twists and turns in the story make you feel the bonds of brotherhood.
Welcome a member.
Microsoft in 2016 made Kate Diaz the main character of Gears 4. It's a cringe...
Oh no, a woman is the main character after 3 games of the beefiest men as the main character. Andypants, let me to be honest about Gears of War storyline. Gears of War, in the era it came out in, was made fun of. People made fun of Gears of War for being melodramatic, for being so self-important and serious, but also so stupid. And people at the time were making fun of it by calling it gay because it was all about other men being physically close to each other. The people who were playing these games when they came out were shit-talking the game you're praising. None of this is particularly high-end. Also, it was always second to Halo on Xbox.
At Zypher 8677 super chatted $2. Gears 3 literally has playable female soldiers.
Yeah, exactly. There were female soldiers in that game too. So what's the fucking difference, you know? Like this list, Andypants is just like, he's playing better games. These are all the same game, by the way. It's all Mafia or shooter games.
At Kazuki Obero super chatted $2. They got a giant worm.
It's an Alaskan bullworm. Like, the only thing that was interesting so far is Yakuza. And it's because it was so, like, out of left pocket for him to say that. Like, none of these games are particularly good or interesting options for him.
At Eustace Giwo super chatted $5. Isn't funny how these chud gamers never mention what actually is ruining gaming? Over monetization.
Exactly. Loot boxes were the real problem with gaming. Loot boxes fucking killed a lot of it and created a gambling mechanism in the system of games. Games were no longer completed. They
At
were
Thinovo
developed over time.
3893 super chatted $5. You can have the exact same story and theme but replace gender, and he would still call it woke.
He basically did. That's what Gears of War 4 through 6 are. You know, there's not much gameplay changes in it, as far as I remember. I didn't play all of them, you know.
At the Waverunner super chatted $5. I don't think he would be able to comprehend Stardew Valley, like not even for woke reasons, because it'd be too complex for him.
Well, he'd have to read. That's the big issue. Most of these games, he just told us don't play Yakuza. Just watch it online. Like, you can't read this stuff. You kidding? he barely understands the plots of these games.
Pro-abortion, pro-gay, pro-degeneracy, homo story, and I will never buy another Gears game after the original trilogy. And like
pro-gay, so much like the Battle of Gay Tony and Yakuza, and also that had some trans characters in it too. So there you go. Pro-abortion is interesting because you keep talking about Godfather a lot. You know, there's a certain plot in Godfather Part 2. Oh, I can't place my finger on it, but there's something that happens in Godfather Part 2. What was that scene that you keep praising and referencing in all your, whenever you talk about the mob movies, like, oh, it's like The Godfather, it's perfect. Like, oh, yeah, like The Godfather, yeah. What was that scene in Godfather Part 2 involving Diane Keaton? You know, I can't recall it. It's strange. Strange. What are you going to do? I'm sure it's not important.
Like... Isn't it funny? Like, Microsoft knows these new games are shit. Why do you think they keep remastering and re-releasing the first 3 Gears games? Because it's the only ones that the fans liked. I honestly think they need to bring Cliffy B back, pay the dude $10 million and tell him to make more Gears games. Another thing that makes Gears so incredibly based is the difficulty. I challenge you to play Gears 1 and put it on insane difficulty. It is one of the best balanced and most tensely difficult games I have ever played.
One of the most intensely games. That's one of the hardest. What about Souls? What about fucking Elder Ring, you know? What about freaking Celeste? What about Battletoads? What about Super Ghosts and Goblins? What about Silver Surfer for the NES?
At Charlie Monka super chatted $4.99. Hey Anthony aka Ant, I'm a big fan of your channel and
thank you.
vids. Plus I like your videos on how manga anime is getting banned by the right.
Yeah, no, that's a serious issue, and we still haven't exactly resolved that one yet. I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard specifically of any case in Texas yet where that law has been pushed, but I think people gotta worry about that one a little more.
At Charlie Monka super chatted $9.99. And it reminds me of what I had recently watched in the 2000 movie Quills about
Quills
the
is
Marquis de
great.
Sade, and it also talks about banning and censorship too.
Oh yeah, no, Quills is fantastic. Everyone, if you haven't seen Quills yet, watch it. That's a great one. That's oh, what's his name? Who was in Pirates of the Caribbean? I think Joaquin Phoenix is in that one too. And it's Jeffrey Rush. There we go. And again, plays Marquis de Sade, who wrote a lot of very explicit stuff like Juliet, Justine. Of course, the 120 Days of Sodom, which I didn't realize reflects culture in 2026 way more than I'd like to admit. I'm disturbed that the 120 days is reflective of where we are at as a society right now, with certain lists of the rich doing horrible things.
Even the hardest difficulty on Gears 4 was an absolute joke. This fall, Gears 1 is coming to PS5. I recommend it. Number 14, Metal Gear Solid.
Okay. None of this gay shit in Metal Gear Solid. Okay. You sure about that? Okay. Hang on. There's no gay shit in Metal Gear Solid. There are no canon gay characters in the Metal Gear Solid series.
Vamp is a member of Dead Cell. Born in Romania, his specialty is knives. But I guess you know that by now. When he was just a kid, he lost his family to a terrorist bomb that went off in a church they were
How the fuck did he not notice Snake is openly bi? Yeah, I don't know how you fucking missed that one. Thank you, Gamer, for that one. But this scene especially.
His body pierced by a crucifix. Vamp was buried under the rubble for 2 days before he was finally rescued. That's how he acquired a taste for blood.
So that's why they call him Vamp.
No, Vamp isn't for vampire. It's because he's bisexual.
First usage of the word.
At Ermanita Rules super chatted $1.99.
Yeah.
All right, Andy's crossed the line now with MGS.
Yeah, no, he's so dumb. Oh yeah, no, thank you for that one, Wave. Let me post this real quick. Okay, now I gotcha. I love this. Yeah, this is in Metal Gear Solid. They raised a child. Snake and Otacon raised a kid together, yeah. Yeah, exactly. No, it's like, what are we doing here, Andypants? I feel like you didn't play this fucking game. Let me bring another scene out that's more, not that one. Right here. Solid 3. Here we go. So another example of the same thing. Again, most heterosexual game ever, right here. Most heterosexual game ever. This fucking game series, man. He knows from touch. He knows from
Don't play dumb with me. If you think you can fool me, you're sorely mistaken.
Like this is what he's saying. He has gone on so many tangents about how old games weren't gay at all, and they were pro-military and nationalism and go America. And he chose the game that says that the country is run by programs and simulations. That war is the economy upon which the culture is built. Talking about the violence of child soldiers in the service of war, and how, every one of these countries is basically bought and sold. All the characters are extremely flamboyant. The main character is like, Solid Snake is a victim of the machine of war. Revolver Ocelot has to hypnotize himself to convince himself to stop the government from within. It's like, because a conspiracy. It's like, come on. Oh, the boss, not the big boss, but the boss, Metal Gear Solid 3. The antagonist of the game is the most badass woman possible. There's always a kick-ass woman in all these games. Like, okay, let's see what he has to say. I'm expecting this to be stupid, but let's see how it goes.
The Metal Gear Solid series is literally like taking the plot of every American 80s action movie, running it through Kojima's wacky Japanese filter, and turning it into a game. If you think Kojima is super original, all you need to do is watch a few movies from the...
Okay, let's see right here. A few movies from what was that?
80s, and you'll see
a few movies from the 80s, such as The Great Escape, which was not from the 80s, Deer Hunter, which is not from the 80s, Black Hawk Down, which is not from the 80s, Escape from New York, that was from the 80s. Okay, you got one. Guns of Navarone, I'm not sure if that came out, but it could be the 80s, I'm not sure. 2001 Space Odyssey, 60s. Children of Men, 2000s. Full Metal Jacket, okay, that's 80s. Die Hard, okay, that's 80s. Austin Powers, Doctor Strangelove, and Goldfinger. Of these 12 movies, 3 are definitely from the 80s, and one was Guns of Navarone film. Let me double check that one. The Guns from Navarone came out 1961. So, of 12 films, 3, Escape from New York, Full Metal Jacket, and Die Hard, are from the 80s. This is stupid. This is mind-blowingly stupid. Also, some of these movies came out after Metal Gear Solid started as a series. Also, what the fuck does Austin Powers have to do with Metal Gear Solid? And Children of Men is an amazing movie. Also agreed. Like, these are all great movies, but like... Die Hard is 88, I believe. Or 87. No, Predator's 87. Die Hard's 88. Die Hard's 88. It's like the end of the 80s.
Literally everything from Metal Gear Solid was copied from a movie. Now, I don't hate this at all. 80s action movies are the best movies, so the dude copied very well. These games are so based, firstly, because they single-handedly created the stealth genre. They
I see you show the bisexual character on screen right now. The base character ever.
Popularized games, playing like movies, and of course, they introduced us to the ultra badass Solid Snake, who all the ladies want. What starts as
and all the men, too, apparently.
Secret mission in Shadow Moses Island becomes substantially crazier as we are introduced to it.
Wait a second. Showing Shadow Moses Island shows clips from Metal Gear Solid 2 instead. Okay, great. Okay, which is not Shadow Moses, by the way. I don't know if you know that or not.
Team of enemies that have paranormal powers and want to kill us. While
at WC Wit super chatted $5, playing the cringe ass, oh those wacky Japanese, card with this segment.
Yep. Yep. Also, I wonder what he thinks about one of the main characters peeing his pants and crying when confronted with danger like Otacon does. I love Otacon, but still.
MGS is one of the most influential games of all time. I find it can be a bit tough to go back to because of the weird controls.
You find it weird? Okay.
The only Metal Gear game with modern controls is MGS5, and a lot of the fans feel like it's one of the weakest entries in the series. So while the first 3 games are obviously the best, their controls can be very weird to get back into. So I'm really hoping Metal Gear Solid Delta is good so that we can kind of have the best of both worlds, play MGS3 and have a modern control style. Number 13,
So he just kind of glossed over everything about Metal Gear Solid, didn't he? Also, having seen all the movies you showed in that list, except for a couple, most of the movies anyway, which one of those had the Patriots plot exactly?
Deus Ex. Deus Ex, which came out in 2000, is still held up by many as the greatest PC game of all time.
Okay, let's see what
you
this
play
goes.
as JC Denton working for UNATCO to stop global terrorism, back when that wasn't like a controversial thing to do and everybody thought it was.
Okay. Do you understand the concepts of the corporate system and anti-establishment in Deus Ex? Okay.
It was pretty cool.
9/11.
Like, guys, can you imagine a AAA game coming out in 2025 where you fight terrorism?
Yes, the
men who wear dresses would all collectively soil their tampons if this happened. Deus Ex is so based because it's an immersive sim. It's a game about fighting terrorism where you are augmented with robotic tech.
Andy, did you play Deus Ex? Did you listen to the words that were said during the game? There's no way you could be this stupid. It's impossible to think, oh, there's terrorists and you fight them, therefore it's just like Rainbow Six. Like, did you play the games? Do you understand the plots of Deus Ex? The concepts of the... No, you don't. What are we talking about? Okay, let's get through this.
In a futuristic world where basically every conspiracy theory ended up being true. Now, I mean this with 100% respect for the first game. Unless you played a ton of games on PC in the 90s, I think you're going to find it very, very...
That's a reoccurring thing, isn't it? He can't fucking play games. Like, listen, I'm not the best when it comes to games. I'm really not. I'm not the best at all. Yeah, but like, if you're going to credit yourself as a gaming critic, every single thing he says, like, yeah, this game sucks, it's dated, I can't play it. Like, there's discussion about taxes in this game. Elaborate tax discussion.
Storyteller super chatted $5. Is it just me, or does it feel like he's just reading the wiki page for these games?
Like, I feel like I'm putting more effort into describing these games off the cuff than he did it in an edited video.
At Maryland 614 super chatted $2.04. Is he self-reporting, woefully ignorant, or both?
Yes. Yes, he is. We are barely halfway through this video. We gotta truck it, guys.
Very hard to play Deus Ex 1 on PC. No amount of mods or textures or updates is going to change the fact that I think time has not been kind to this game. That being said, if you are new to the Deus Ex games, I recommend starting with Human Revolution from the 360 era or Mankind Divided from the PS.
None. There's no he has no idea.
_Williams_purple_fairy super chatted $2.04. This guy has no media literacy at all.
None. Like, he's talking about how base these games are, but can't actually describe what happens in the games. Like, oh, you kill terrorists. Like, buddy, it's a lot more than just that. The terrorists have an argument. It's about society and the collective systems that control and bind us. It's about the corporate overlords that control our influences. This is as far from your right-wing politics as you could physically get. The only thing that would be more left-wing is Metal Gear Solid, which you already cited as based.
At the Waverunner super chatted $2. He is a weak gamer.
Yeah.
Can't handle some polygons.
He has to it's like, this game doesn't play the way I'd like, therefore I can't play it. Meanwhile, like, a ton of people freaking go back to old school games all the time. Like, we're not asking you to replay System Shock before the remaster. That game's a little trickier because there's no clear direction. And Deus Ex, the door's open for a lot of options. The original Deus Ex is complicated, but you have to be, like, able to play it. Like, it's amazing how far removed Andypants Gaming is from discussing the plots of his games. Because there is not a single game on the market currently, not even Cyberpunk 2077, as
Gamer Ninja
anti-establishment
24
as Deus
super
Ex.
chatted $5. The only based game that should be on this list, but aren't are Duke Nukem, Bulletstorm, and
I
Broforce.
kind of like all those games too, to be honest with you.
PS4 era. These are both honestly really good games that are some of my favorites of all time. These stories have tons of twists and turns.
My favorites of all time, but I can't play them. Oh, yeah, that's the new
You
one.
are a robotic, badass killing machine trying to rid the world of terrorism. They are awesome. Now you should know these.
That's not what the fucking plot is, dude. There's a lot more to it than just that. Jesus Christ.
At Charlie Monka super chatted $19.99. I'm really happy you know about Quills, 2000, and because I enjoyed the movie very much, especially with how it's relatable as an aspiring artist myself going on with manga, anime being attacked and even shunned from everyone.
Oh, yeah, no. When artists push against the established norm, there's a lot that can go wrong. Quills I remember watching because I got really into reading a lot of the more transgressive works from the last couple hundred years. And of course, Marquis de Sade was on top of that list. And I remember reading some of Marquis de Sade. I was like, oh, is there any film adaptations aside from Sallow, which I'd already seen at that point. And so I sought out Quills because it was about, the Marquis de Sade. And it's some really interesting stuff on that front. When you go to the extremes of storytelling, you really see the limits of what can be done.
At Alan Bezerra-O Moreno 4085 super chatted $1.34. MF wouldn't handle 5 minutes of Morrowind yet calls himself a gamer.
Well, Morrowind doesn't have a remaster, therefore I can't play it. Sorry, based in... Jesus Christ, can you imagine? He would not handle Morrowind. All these games he's talking about are based off. They're all based on all that. They're all Xbox 360 era games. So the thing is, except for the few that have PlayStation 2, which are like the greatest PlayStation 2 games, they all involve guns. They all involve action-based gameplay, and he can't reorient himself to play old-school games as a result of this. Notice that?
These aren't fast-moving run-and-gun first-person games. Because they are immersive sims, they are meant to be harder and played just a bit slower. What I like about Deus Ex Mankind Divided is the game forces...
A second.
At Dwarvenworks 671 super chatted $5. Andy can't give an elevator pitch for a game to save his life.
He really can't. It's terrible.
At Dowman 5 super chatted $2. Andy would blue screen, trying to play UFO 50, lol.
Exactly.
Forces you to slow down and take in your environment,
Or
and it's not just about running through a level as fast as possible and killing everything. Number 12, Red Dead Redemption 2.
Of course.
What can be said about this game that hasn't already been said?
Yeah,
it was
Red
Dan
Dead Redemption 2
Houser's
is a great
magnum
game.
opus
I don't
before he
argue
left
with
Rockstar. Arthur Morgan is one of the most based, badass characters in any game ever. I've talked to many guys who literally...
You mean like how he kills the clan? You like that part, right? How the game is very much against white supremacy? Isn't that like one of the best parts of the game, right?
really have just said because of how bad modern games are, they're probably just going to play Red Dead 2 forever.
At the guy 493 super chatted $5. Looking back a bit, Final Fantasy VII? The game about the eco-terrorist and his 2 bisexual girlfriends?
Yeah!
Conservative?
And don't forget that also Cloud and some runs you can actually date Barrett as well. So, it's very off-center. Again, Red Dead Redemption 2 is a great game. So I'm not arguing with you on that one, buddy.
I also have a personal theory that this game, which came out in 2018, is probably going to be the last truly incredible AAA big-budget game that we get, ever. In case you haven't noticed, AAA big-budget studios are shuttering right now because they're filled with woke activists. All the base games being...
No, because they're too expensive. That's why. Here's the problem with AAA games. The real problem with the gaming industry is this. They spend too much fucking money on these games. And better games come out. You can make games better now, cheaper. You don't need to spend so much money to make good games anymore. You can spend less and get a better product. There's an indie game coming out that's looks better than most of the Cyberpunk games I've seen in ages. It's coming out this year. Looks fantastic. It's an indie team. You can make good games for far less.
Being made right now are by smaller developers and indie developers, and so it's highly unlikely we will ever simply get a game this good again. There is a small amount of wokeness in this game. People have pointed to the fact that as Arthur, you are forced
Oh,
At
this is what he has to
Detective
say.
Lizard 9532 super chatted $3.51. Andy is definitely the type of person who likes cyberpunk media purely for the aesthetic.
Oh, 100%. He has no clue what he's talking about otherwise. There's no clue. He doesn't understand any of these topics. Yeah, that's what it comes down to.
Forced to celebrate feminists in this game, which is bullshit. Also, some people
Forced to celebrate feminists, which is bullshit. So the fact that the game has a complex plot with characters, by the way, I don't know if you know this or not, but suffragettes actually existed in this era. That was a movement at this time. Like Andypants loves historical accuracy when it's racism, but he doesn't like the fact that people oppose these concepts as early as when they were instilled.
people have pointed to Sadie Adler as kind of an annoying girl boss. Outside of just being really fun, RDR2 is one of the most beautiful games of all time. Every leaf, every tree, every gunshot, every animation is gorgeous, and I
guess he's okay with the clan killing, though.
Pretty sure we will never get a game like this again. Number 11, the Uncharted trilogy.
Oh, so Tomb Raider for guys who can't handle for players who can't handle playing a woman.
At WC Wit super chatted $5. Steph Sterling talks about the real problems in the game industry, but that apparently doesn't translate to the success these jackasses can have.
Yeah, well, that's because she's able to actually talk about these issues. Sterling has always been that, she's always been, back in the day even, lost work over pointing out, the corruption of the game industry. You want to talk about ethics in journalism, there you go, right there, consistently. But it's also not easy to grift on it. And she's been fucking right, is the thing.
The Uncharted games follow the story of treasure hunter Nathan Drake. These games are so based because they're masculine, you're on an adventure, you have a love interest, Elena, you have a mentor, Sully. And the games at heart are about not getting so caught up in your goals and dreams that you neglect and forget about the people around you. These games...
It's based because men, apparently. Oh my god. I'm honestly going to tell you right now, if you were doing a drinking game where you took a shot every time you heard the word masculine or men, you'd be dead. Don't do that. That's a bad idea. Never play drinking games like that with Andypants. Okay, listen. His script only has 5 words. It's man, masculine, based, feminine, girl boss, gay. Whatever. His scripts only have the same 5 terms. Repeatedly. Every single game has the same terminology. And by the way, notice a few things. He has never once mentioned nationalism. He has never once mentioned God. He has never once mentioned Christianity. He has never once mentioned difficulty outside of Gears of War being hard. In fact, when the gameplay is tough to play, he backs out. He started going, oh, the game has to be tough to play. But Mr. Hardcore Gamer balks at the chance whenever a game is slightly too difficult for his sensibilities.
Games are so based because they are packed with just being a regular bro. Nathan Drake is funny and likable, and the stories are amazing. If you're thinking of going back and playing one, I recommend Uncharted 2. I was playing it just the other day for a few hours, and it holds up really well. While Uncharted 4 is one of the most stunning looking games of all time, Bagel Man, Neil Druckmann, had his hands all over it, so you know it's got...
Bagel Man? What the fuck does Bagel Man mean? I'm convinced it's a Jewish thing. I don't know.
Woke nonsense injected all over the place. Also, Uncharted 4 was just depressing compared to the first 3 games, which were much more fun and lighthearted.
Oh, boo fucking who? Who cares? Oh, it made me feel sad. Oh, yeah, right? It is absolutely a dog whistle, right? It has to be an anti-Semitic dog whistle, right? Because that's what it sounds like.
The Uncharted DLC with the gay black girl boss is awful. You can play...
Oh, it's so bad. The same gameplay.
At Thinavo3893 super chatted $10. I am willing to bet the whole theme of Red Dead Redemption 2 and its criticism of how white people exploit minority for their own gain fly over his head.
He thinks Deus Ex is pro-nationalism. He has no fucking clue what he's talking about. I will take that bet in a heartbeat. You kidding? That is an I'm on your side with betting on that one. He has no clue.
Play the first 3 Uncharted games on PC and on PlayStation. Number 10, the God of War trilogy. Type this into AI. Does Kratos grow...
Why would you type... Okay, don't bother.
as a character during the first 3 God of War games? And the answer comes back, nope. I read this cringy line somewhere. He's no longer just the God of War. He's the God of growth. Are you kidding?
Oh no, how dare someone reflect and change and grow over the course of hundreds of years, if not thousands of years. Like, that's the thing I don't understand with him. How dare men reflect? That's how you know Andypants Gaming lost his wife and kid. Because any man who can grow and reflect would reflect on the fact that putting your child into your edgy AI game that involves exploitation of children is a stupid fucking idea. So the problem is Andypants Gaming is failing to launch. He is stuck in the past and cannot advance. And that's his fucking problem. Any person who becomes a father, and I speak now as a father, I'm going to play that dad card as much as possible. Any guy who becomes a father knows that things change when you have a kid. So the idea of playing a game where a man has a second chance of being a father after the first chance failed so horribly, and you look at it and go, there's no reason he should grow. A second chance of happiness after losing his entire family. That's bad.
At Wing of Shoe super chatted $2. Proof Andy is a bad father. Kratos is better.
Yeah, Andy's a worse father than Kratos. Absolutely.
At Straw Hat Monty 22,897 super chatted $5. Why do games have to be masculine again? I'm playing Runner 2 Future Legend of Rhythm Alien and Pac-Man World 2 Repack and having a great time.
Oh, well, that's the thing you have to realize. Andypants only plays very specific games because he can't handle anything else. Can you imagine Andypants actually playing Silent Hill 2, for example? Think about it this way. Every game he's played involves characters killing or shooting. Can he play a game like, say, Final Fantasy VII? Can he play a game like, say, Chrono Trigger? Ninja Gaiden, maybe? Dead or Alive, even.
3893 super chatted $5. The guy who wrote God of War trilogy said he made the new God of War game because he became a father and want to tell a more complex story.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, I love the original God of War games, but it exists because it's a backdrop, essentially. I mean, it was originally a story where they killed all the gods, and it's badass and it's cool and all that. But it's also very indicative of its era in that it's very basic, you know? There's not a whole lot of complexity to it. Especially if you play it again now, it's like, yeah, it's good. It's good action. I enjoy it. But the quick time events get boring. It's just repetitive.
At Koarizarich super chatted $2. Andy would flunk Myst.
Can you imagine him playing fucking Myst? He would go crazy. Play Myst, Andy, please. I gotta see that.
At the Waverunner super chatted $5. Kratos still is very masculine.
Agreed.
He just now pushes a more positive masculinity using your strength to protect rather than for anger or vengeance.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's more masculine to reflect on fault. Because here's the thing with Kratos that I think is so brilliant as a character decision. It only is brilliant because of where it went. Kratos' rage in the original trilogy does not bring him any happiness. He just destroys everything. He ruins it. He's justified against those he fights, but he also just destroys everything in his path. He murders indiscriminately. And because of that, he's left with ruins. There's nothing good in the world around him. He doesn't bring good change to it. With the new games, he has a chance to bring actual joy to the world. And that's something really special, I think. There's something meaningful to that. I think it's powerful, you know? It's a chance for the person to get us to reflect back on your past sins and become better as a result of it. That's maturity. That's more masculine, I think, than just cutting things up with your big daggers. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think anyway.
Ding me. See, what a lot of people loved about Kratos is just how completely unhinged and rage-filled he is in the first 3 games, and this rage to destroy his enemies never goes away. Do I recommend being this way in real life? No, but it can be fun to be that in a character in a video game. And although God of War 2018 looks beautiful and it's all about Kratos growing as a person and being a dad and blah, 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 Sony kind of cucked him, didn't they? Like, they turned Kratos into a soft millennial dad. Even David Jaffe, the guy who created the game and is a total leftist, hated what they did to Kratos. He thinks Kratos forever needs to stay this dude who just hooks up with lady gods, kills mightier gods, and is just a rage-fueled psychopath. I would say I'm torn on it. Yes, in my personal life, I want to grow as a person and follow Jesus and be a Christian. But what I do on a TV screen isn't real life. It's a video game. And sometimes it's fun to be a rage-filled psychopath.
But you just said it has to glorify God. That's what makes a game based. So what the fuck's going on there, Andy? Also, pause, yeah. Fellas, is it gay to be a father? Yeah, is it gay to love gay to be a father? Jesus Christ. They kind of cucked him. How they cuck him? How they cuck him, buddy? Yeah, no, soft. The man who's like taking down fucking gods left and right is still... Again, the problem is he'd like to grow as a dad, but he wants to be an angry, rage-filled adolescent forever. That's what he wants. That's why he lost his wife and kid. And yeah, I'll be honest with you about something here. The older I get, the more Andypants' antics piss me off. On an ethical level. Not that I'm angry or rage-filled, like I'm piping the comments or whatever, making fun of him. That's not what it is. I'm going to make fun of him to his face. What I'm saying right now is that I have contempt for any man who uses his family as a tool to win fights on the internet. Because, you know, what's the line from The Godfather, that movie that you keep quoting? A man who doesn't spend time with his family can never be a real man. That's more masculine than what's in your pants. Being there for your family, being there for your loved ones, that is more a sign of masculinity than anything possibly in a video game.
At user_225_CCC super chatted $1.99. I'm Christian. This guy is spewing lies.
100% agreed. But here's the thing. Who is he lying to? You or himself? I think himself. The story behind Andypants Family's gaming. So he made a game about that was about like chuds taking down gay Nazis. His words, not mine. And in the game, he happened to show explicit scenes of an AI rendered iteration of his daughter. He put his daughter into a video game to make fun of gay people, basically. He called the gays pedos while simultaneously creating CSAM of his own daughter.
At Thinavo3893 super chatted $5. There is nothing wrong with escapism, but the fact this guy only want escapism and never want anything challenging is so dystopian.
Well, that's because he can't handle real life, because he fucks up his real life. Yeah, he's older than I am. Hell, I think he's older than Psy. So yeah, it's ridiculous.
Path in a video game. Like, guys, is anybody getting mad at Super Mario Brothers for property destruction? Like, come on, some of y'all need to chill out.
Yeah, but that's not the plot of the game. It's just an action in game. You're completely disingenuous with that comparison.
I guess what I'm saying is video games don't have to be this sort of narcissistic projection about what's going on in your life. Video games can just be like a fun thing that you do, you know?
Hang on a second. Andy, you just said that God of War should never change. It should always be the same thing forever. Isn't that narcissistic to tell someone else what their story should be and that we should listen to you? Without giving any reason other than like, I want to play it. It makes me feel happy to be the angry boy who smashes things. I want to play it. And that's not narcissism? Yeah, okay. But a character over time, having time to reflect on actions after the rage has died down. Because God of War 1, 2, and 3 take place over a very short period of time. There's a massive gap between that trilogy and the new games.
At Mike Manhattan 93 super chatted $2. Horizon Zero Dawn came out in 2017, so not woke?
Oh, it's woke. He hates that too. That's the problem with these guys. They're very inconsistent.
Number 19, PUBG. So I know this is going to trigger people, but PUBG on console and PC is one of the most based multiplayer games you could possibly play. Still,
you have no
now,
fucking
have they recently
taste.
added a bunch of corny skins and bright colors to PUBG? Sure, but all I do is kill those people. The reality is that PUBG was and always has been a military sim. I'm not joking. Look it up.
PUBG's a game for babies, man.
PUBG started as a mod for Arma. When I'm playing it, we use military tactics in every game we play. PUBG has realistic physics, realistic bullet drop.
Dude, you're not
But
going to convince me
WC
PUBG's
Wit
a good
super
game.
chatted $5, calling his targets narcissists. Oh hey, the last space I needed for grifter bingo.
Exactly. Oh, hey, you win. I should have made a grifter bingo card. It'd been perfect for this. I was too sick this week to think of that.
PUBG doesn't have gay auto aim or aim assist. I've always said PUBG is the Dark Souls of shooters because it's freaking hard. I have
The Dark Souls of shooter. No, you're a fucking moron. PUBG sucks. Let's be perfectly blunt. It's a shitty game that was a launching pad for fucking Fortnite success, and that's it. PUBG is garbage. Yeah, it's shitty Fortnite.
At SpongeSonic1 super chatted $2, PUBG, even worse Fortnite.
Also, auto aim. What the fuck games have auto aim that you're playing? Gay auto aim. Like, what are you talking about, man?
Probably put 1,200 hours into this game over the years with my friends. It is still to this day a game I play a lot because it is unfathomably difficult and it has a very high skill ceiling. Crafton has never added anything to this game to make it unbalanced. It is still at heart a very realistic game. Basically, you just need to be a badass and you need to get good in order to be good at this game. Are there gay dances and emotes now? Sure, but none of that changes that the base game is pretty much perfect.
I hope someone fights him in PUBG and does a gay dance on top of him when they win.
Crafton owns PUBG and they're a Korean company, and Korea is pretty based. Fortnite
Korea, pretty based, huh? Okay.
copied PUBG. Warzone copied PUBG.
Korea is a pretty based country, after all. Yeah, let's get some. Yeah, no, let's see that. Yeah. He loves Korea. He loves Korea. He's a big fan of the Koreans. All right, it's right here. Yeah, he loves Roommates of Poonduck 304. He loves Color Rush and Color Rush 2, especially big on those. Yeah, he loves that. New Employee, he loves this show a lot. He loves that. It's based in Not At All Gay. Loves this.
At Itsuboy562 super chatted $3.18. Ah yes, the fabled gay auto aim, not to be confused with the super straight auto aim.
Exactly. Well, it doesn't shoot straight. That's the problem with auto aim. It curves. Oh, man. By the way, never show him Korean horror either, because he would hate that. Obviously, The Wailing is the most Christian movie of all time. It has Satan in it. There's a Catholic priest in there somewhere. He doesn't get fucked up at all. My favorite wholesome game about manly men, my favorite wholesome movie about manly men, Old Boy. I love Old Boy. It's all about how men are based. They probably watch the hallway scene and not get the fact that it's supposed to be like, a meaningful film. Anyway.
Gaypex copied PUBG, but PUBG is like a 1967 Mustang. It will always be the GOAT. It is the original that everyone copies. PUBG is the only battle royale game that I actually recommend. Oh, and the mobile version is trash. I'm not defending the mobile version at all. The mobile version is complete dog water, dog slop. Number 8, Splinter Cell. I put this game higher up than Metal Gear Solid because it is nationalistic and pro-military, meaning that it is more based than Metal Gear.
Any moron who plays his Splinter Cell over Metal Gear Solid is a moron. I'm sorry, that's reality. Splinter Cell's all right. It's fine. I like it. It's a decent game. But because it's nationalistic, that means it's better than Metal Gear Solid. No moron would ever say that Splinter Cell's a better game than Metal Gear Solid. Metal Gear Solid has survived the test of time for a reason. Splinter Cell has not.
When you talk about Giga Chads, the pinnacle Giga Chad is probably Sam Fisher.
No, it's
silently throat-punching terrorists, dropping down.
Duke Nukem is right there, dude. You could just say Duke Nukem. I'm not even into this whole thing. And even I say I'm offended for him. Hell, the fucking Gears guys are more Giga Chatty than fucking Sam Fisher. Sam Fisher is such a nothing character.
From pipes and snapping necks. Splinter Cell is considered by many to be the greatest stealth game of all time.
No, it's not.
Like, guys, what a different world 2002 was. Back when Ubisoft only made based military games. Like,
dude, you can't fucking play Metal Gear Solid 2.
Look how far we've come. We know the real...
Yeah, basically, Splinter Cell walked so the Hitman series could run. Everything that Splinter Cell does, Hitman does better.
The reason Ubisoft hasn't made a Splinter Cell game the past 10 years is because there aren't any biological males left at the company anymore. You have to have a penis to make a game like this. Do you remember?
No, you don't. Let me take a look at something real quick. I'm gonna look at something real quick. I want to look at something real quick. I think I have an idea here. Splinter Cell, the original. Let's look at that. Right? Splinter Cell, the original. See this real quick. Let me take a look real quick. I'm gonna do something real fast. Crew. Here we go. IMDb page. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Okay, cool. So the original one. All right, let's see right here. All right, Claudia. Did some voicing in there. Okay, the voicing, I'm not going to bother with that. Let's take a look at production. Producers. Hugo. Clint, Richard, Oliver, Isaac, Carol. Okay, so here we go. So, talent coordination is a woman. Is it Stefan or? I can't tell this person's gender, so I'm not sure. Sebastian Emile Florence, director, intro movie. Okay, so on-set translator. Okay, there you go, woman. Small crew. Looks like a small crew. If this is the entire crew, which it definitely is not, because programmers had to work on this. A couple women worked on it, so already inaccurate. Yeah, it's all women, right? The directors of the Uncharted series, but Splinter Cell specifically. Okay, so mostly male, sure, all right, but few women.
Remember how you could grab people in this game and you would see their panicky face and they would just start telling you stuff? So good.
You mean like in Hitman also?
I was playing Chaos Theory from 2005 recently. What I forgot is these games are basically immersive sims. That's the genre where you can pretty much interact with everything in your...
At Maryland 614 super chatted $5.11, and think this guy might be a Mr. Freeze henchman, if y'all know what I mean.
I do.
Particularly the kind in Minneapolis. Thanks YouTube for forcing me to edit.
Yeah, no, YouTube loves censoring that. Yeah, I can see him doing that. He would love to play his COD fantasies in real life and have reality show him. You can't just fucking do that. Because reality is always restrictive at the end of the day. You can always relive your COD fantasies in real life, but eventually, your kids are going to dox you on the internet for being a jackass. And then what are you going to do?
Your environment and use it to your advantage. Now, I will say, going back to the original controls in order to play these games can be tough.
Oh my god. You're such a fucking fake fan. Okay, if you're going to say... Remember when games were based and good and amazing back in the day? But the controls are hard. You can't praise the past if you can't even fucking pick up a controller and play it.
Controls in the old Splinter Cell games on PS2 and Xbox have not aged well. I recommend playing Blacklist from 2013. I think it's available on most modern consoles. It's still a really, really good game. They just kind of streamlined the gameplay and made it a bit simpler to play. What I think we desperately need is a Splinter Cell reboot where the controls kind of feel maybe like Ghost Recon Wildlands or Breakpoint. A new Splinter Cell game with updated controls would be incredible. So
they're not the greatest stealth games of all time, is what you're saying. They're the greatest stealth games of all time, but you can't fucking play them because you can't get a handle of the controls. That's what you're saying? That's it? What a fucking fake fan.
But again, no men at Ubisoft anymore, so it's probably not going to happen. Number 7, Halo. Can you imagine a pro-war, pro-America video game?
Are you under the impression this is pro-war? Did you not... How did Halo 2 end with Master Chief going, let's keep fighting forever. I can't wait to fight more war. Or did he say, I'm going to finish this? every single aspect. Also, by the way, Halo is not about America. Halo is about the collective world government. It's not about America exclusively. It's an integrated system. The world is now unified against the Covenant. And it's not about continuing to fight because war is great. It's about defending it's about the necessary need to defend from an outside force. Also, the big enemy is the Flood, and then the Forerunners later on, but that's a whole other thing. So it's like you essentially have to work together with your enemies, putting aside your differences to fight a greater threat. It's also about the dangers of unrestrained weaponry, because the Halo rings can destroy everything if activated. So I'm not sure if that's really a pro-war message or an anti-war message. The dangers of uncontrolled, utilized violence. Oh yeah, no. End of Halo Reach, where they're all like, I love fighting so much. That's why you all die. And it's tragic.
Coming out today and it being as wildly successful as Halo was, if you want to see the complete decay of the video game industry, all you need to do is go back and play the Bungie.
At SpongeSonic 1 super chatted $5. The Arbiter's entire journey is realizing the holy war he's fighting is based on lies.
Yep.
That doesn't sound pro-war to me.
Also sounds anti-religion, too. But, he wouldn't want to talk about that.
At the Waverner super chatted $5. The UNSC is also very flawed in universe. At the start of Reach, you are putting down a rebellion before the Covenant attack.
Yeah, fascism, exactly. Well, not fascism, but like at least overreach in government.
At Dwarvenworks 671 super chatted $2. Halo's controls have auto-IM to help with accuracy.
Isn't that funny that keeps working out? Also, yeah, speaking of the Covenant, wouldn't this also qualify as a discussion of religious fanaticism and the dangers therein of blind faith to doctrine? Yeah. You would think, right? You would think, but again, thinking about it requires you having a brain. If you have a brain, you're already 5 steps ahead of Andypants here.
Halo games and ask,
dumbass.
Who made these? I mean, it would be like a AAA game developer in 2025 coming out with a pro-Trump video game.
Andy, did you read, do you know the plot of Halo? Like what happens in it? Like did you actually when the characters are talking, you're not just impatiently waiting for the next action scene. You're supposed to actually listen, absorb, register. Did you do that? No? Oh, you're a dumbass. Right, I forgot. Yeah, sorry.
Like, never gonna happen. And this is because the entire video game industry are child lovers.
Wait, what the fuck?
They're pathetic, and they're gay, and they're woke now.
Andypants, which person here made the game where you have actual CSAM in it? Like, I find it funny he says, oh, these are all child lovers and gay, but like, which person was it who put CSAM in your game, Andypants? Which person exploited the iconography and imagery of your daughter to make fun of gay people? I'll tell you this right now, it's not the gay people. Andypants, the calls are coming from inside the house. And by the way, let me see something here real quick. Halo Crew Bungie. Bungie employees. Okay, let's look at this. So, Bungie staff. A lot of Bungie staff. So much. Okay, all these ads. I hate how ads can. Oh yeah. So here's an example. 5 seconds of searching. Administrative. So there's a lot of administration work. We got here. A lot of Chris's. A lot of Chris's. Wow. Okay. Mike Budd. I fucking love that. A guy named Mike Budd. Yeah, women worked on the game, all right? That's what it comes down to. A few of them, not a ton, not a massive amount, it was mainly male-dominated, but Here's an example. Okay, that's a guy. Never mind. Guy named Jamie. All right. A lot of different. Okay, the point is, they were women who worked on it. Okay, here's one. So we currently. Okay, so one of the designers artistic designers was Zoe Brawley, who is in fact a woman. Okay, as an example right there. There were women who worked in the game, not a ton, but they were a lot. Here's the problem, though, with all this. What I'm seeing is an actual problem with how the layout was. Why is it that no women worked in these companies for so long, or at least very few? Hiring practices, right? Andy, do you ever consider the fact that maybe the issue wasn't that men are better at gaming development, but more that women were kept out or prevented from joining an industry that was predominantly male because of other reasons? And that many of the women who worked at these companies, you have a record of leaving early and prematurely, not because they were fired, but because of harassment and being uncomfortable to come to work every day and not feeling safe. Did you consider that aspect of it? Because a lot of these women I'm looking at, they left Bungie early in their tenure because they didn't want to work there anymore. I can't imagine why.
Now, I understand that Halo is a metaphor, but what is indisputable here is that
What's the metaphor for, Andy? What's the metaphor?
The Covenant were meant to symbolize radical Islamic fundamentalism, and Master Chief and the UNSC were meant to symbolize America. So in a very real way, Halo is about the war in the Middle East. I'm sorry, it just...
Okay, here's the thing, Andy, that you're saying right here that's interesting. So you're saying it's about the war in the Middle East, right? The original Halo is the war in the Middle East. Okay, let's take a look at that for a second. Halo development. Halo went into development. When was Halo first making? Okay. Let me tell you something real quick, Andy. You might not realize this. Halo came out November 2001. The game was in development way before that.
At SpongeSonic1 super chatted $2. My source is that I made it the fuck up.
Exactly. In fact, Halo, at its earliest level, began development in 1995. It then saw a 6-year in terms of from inception to release. And you know what did not happen in that whole period of time? The war in Afghanistan, you moron. 9/11 happened 2 months before the game's release. At that point, the game was basically finished and was being marketed. We were not in war at that time. You aren't just stupid. You're bafflingly stupid, and I know you are, because you were alive for all this. You were in your 20s. You were in your 20s when this happened. Or at the very least, late teens. We were in Serbia. Yeah, but that doesn't count because he's talking about the war on terror, which took place in 2003 that started.
At the Waverunner super chatted $2. If anything, the Covenant are space crusaders.
They are, but then again, the jihadists were very similar to the Crusaders in that sense of fanaticism. But yeah, I have no doubt that the war on terror influenced every aspect of Halo after that first game. But you're talking about Halo the original as well. And that established the rules which we followed from there on out. Yeah, Serbia's not in the Middle East anyway. It's like Eastern Europe. So, all this to say, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, Andy.
Is Now, I know all Islamic people are not like the Covenant. I think it's great when Islamic culture is not violent, and I have a ton of fans who are Islamic, just to be clear. But the evil which Master Chief and UNSC are combating in these games is a radical religious devotion that leads to the killing of innocent people. Hopefully, we can all agree that's wrong. And of course,
yes, it is wrong to be religiously fanatic. Andy, did you ever take a second to consider the history of the Christian church? Of Christianity? Do you think it's all sunshine and rainbows and hugging each other?
Of course, as you will remember, at the end of Halo 3, the Arbiter locks arms with Master Chief, as it were, so that they can both face and fight the real enemy, the Flood. But of course, ever since Halo 4 in 2012, Halo has been fully gay and woke. But the original Halo games were filled with Christian imagery. They were pro-America games.
Christian? Oh yeah, no, Andy, it is full of Christian imagery. But not in the way you think. Because if you play Halo and don't think the Covenant is based on all Abrahamic religion to some extent, you're a fucking delusional moron. Even in middle school, people compared the Covenant to the Spanish Inquisition, to fanaticism. When I didn't hear the words Covenant from the jihadists, I heard it from the fucking Westboro Baptist Church on the news every night they showed up, protesting the funerals of soldiers. I heard it from the televangelists on TV preaching and preaching about how we had to go to war. I'm hearing it from you, whether you realize it or not, honoring the covenant of your God.
They were anti-religious fanaticism games. I could go on and talk about how Halo changed console shooters forever, how Halo invented recharging health, how the game pioneered
Andy, the problem is this. You say with a straight face the game is pro-Christian, but also anti-Christian, anti-religious extremism. Do you not realize that Christians can also be religiously extreme and have been multiple times in the past?
Player console shooters, but I'm going to stop there. Master Chief is based as hell, and the original Halo games, being Halo 1, 2, 3, and Reach, are based as heck. Number 6.
But Reach, he's saying, is pro-war, too. Oh, he's saying Dark Souls now is based.
At It's Your Boy 562 super chatted $6.36. The most pro-war idiots out there are the ones who play COD and never realize how grueling and harmful warfare really is to those who see it. Horrible fucking rhetoric from him, GTFO with that shit.
I always think of like Jarhead, you know? Like Jarhead is a very disturbing movie, essentially, about how we are broken down and reconstructed to be soldiers. And then nothing. You know? You're broken down, your identity's broken, and then you're never used. All that effort destroying and rebuilding you into something to use as a weapon of war. And then you're like, well, that was fucking pointless. It's nihilism, ultimately. And that was the mindset of the freaking era of that time. Now, I can never speak to be I've never served. I will never pretend I've served. I can't pretend to imagine the experience that a soldier goes through. But you know who else never served? Andypants. So, get fucked.
At SpongeSonic1 super chatted $10. Halo literally uses Gregorian chanting in its music to emphasize the Christian allegories. The Covenant are very much an allegory for the church. This guy is a fake fan.
Oh, 100%. And someone in chat mentioned before, the word covenant itself is a term from Christianity. Yeah, exactly. Absolute clown shit.
Dark Souls. Instead of talking about Bloodborne and Elden Ring and all of the spin-offs, I will just talk about the OG FromSoft game that started it all. Not Demon Souls, but Dark Souls. I will never forget playing this game and getting stuck at a boss and my simple self thinking that I could just grind the area for a few hours and become more powerful and easily beat the boss. Oh, what a fool I was. Dark Souls and all of the From Software games are so good because they only have one difficulty and they simply force you to get better at the game. There's no easy way out. There's no lowering the difficulty. There's no grinding to become more powerful. You simply have to get good, as they say. And this, boys, is why Dark Souls is so masculine and so based and so popular. People don't actually want a game to be nice to you. People secretly want a game to be punishingly hard. I think that is the secret of Dark Souls' success.
Yeah, but the game isn't just good because it's hard. There's lots of games that are hard. The game is good because it's hard but fair. In the sense that, yeah, play the game over and over again. It teaches you how to play it through mechanics. It teaches you how to play it through setting. And you might miss that, and it's harder. It is, you can definitely grind to become more powerful, and you can play the game on easy mode too if you play like a fucking, like, you know, arsonist. But like the point is, the game is designed to make it challenging for you, so you learn from experience. And it's also a game that teaches you what the world's like through environmental storytelling. That's a big detail too.
Number 5, and we're down to the home stretch now.
Wait, that's it? That's all you're saying on Dark Souls? That's it? I thought you were going to keep going. Okay.
The most based game of all time, Doom.
Wait.
There is possibly no character more based than the Doom.
This is the remake of Doom. Again, the new Doom's great. I love new Doom. Why aren't you talking about the original?
Doom guy. According to his creators, he is canonically Catholic. All of the games are about him going to hell and killing all the demons.
What the fuck's that? Okay, no one cares what Doom guy's religious or religion's bullshit is. It's not relevant.
At Eustace Giwo super chatted $2. Dark Souls. Totally pro-religious.
Exactly. No.
Winking face.
Exactly. Also, he's like, the developers confirm he's Christian, but it's not in the games. Who gives a fuck?
The two villains in Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal are both feminist women. So I haven't gotten a chance to play Doom the Dark Ages through to the end yet, but I'm hearing that Doom...
What the fuck are you talking about, feminist women? Like, what? The main villains are the demons, dude. It's fucking hell. What?
Doom guy isn't even the star of his own story, and there's probably an ugly girl boss in it. But what I can say emphatically is that from a standpoint of game difficulty and general basedness, Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal are incredibly based. I have many friends who simply can't beat Doom Eternal on the hardest difficulty.
What about fucking original Doom? Right? Like, am I crazy for this? He's talking about old games. Doom's new. Doom's 2016. That's recent, relatively speaking. I mean, granted, yeah, now 2016, that's 10 years ago, of course. But, like, you're talking about old school games. Why aren't you talking about the old school Doom from the 90s? That's like 30 years old. It's a great classic game still.
At the Waverner super chatted $5. In the novels, which are canon, Doomslayer got sent to Mars because he punched a commanding officer refusing to kill innocent civilians.
Exactly. Funny he doesn't mention that part about him opposing military order. He is
At the Gaming Trude super chatted $5. Andy is the kind of guy who would call Kingdom Hearts woke because it doesn't have buff gun people in it. LMAO, much love, Ant.
In fairness, he should call it woke because it's all very gay. Kingdom Hearts is definitely gay. It is extremely, extremely, extremely gay. But he wouldn't pick up on that.
Apparently, it's just too hard. Take that, accessibility, folks. Pretty much every Doom fan I know was very, very happy with the 2016 reboot. I actually prefer the 2016 reboot to Doom Eternal, but you should definitely play both of them. Doom guy is canonically a Christian, and all he does is kill demons in hell.
Yeah, but what about the gameplay, right? Like, am I crazy for this? Like, he's saying, oh, the developers said it. Like, okay, well, that's not the game. That's outside the game. Someone had to come in and explain it to you. How is the game when you play it? Pretend there's no notes. Pretend there's no other information. The game itself, you kill demons. Okay, well, a lot of games can do that. What makes Doom special? Also, any discussion about Doom as a series that ignores the first 3 games, yes, the third one too, is incomplete.
These games are ultra-based. Number 4, the tactical shooter genre. So I realized there were simply too many based games to include in this list, so in the final 5, I'm beginning to include genres. I'm planning to do a video soon about how the tactical shooter genre was killed off, but if you have never played a tactical shooter, you need to go play one right now. Did you know there was a time when AAA military games weren't just Call of Duty or Battlefield? Did you know there was a time military games emphasized tactics in games rather than individual glory? I have played these games recently, and I still
play XCOM, dude.
Think they hold up really well, and you should check them out. Rainbow Six 3 on Xbox and PS2. Rainbow Six Vegas 1 and 2 on...
At Thinavo3893 super chatted $5. To be fair, the new Doom game is very religious. Not just fighting hell. You are literally sent by God to fight demon.
That's true. Here's the problem, though, with that. Why couldn't he just say that? You know what I mean? Why couldn't he just talk about the Doomslayer being sent from God as a divine mission to stop hell? In-game. Why do you have to reference quotes from the developers outside of the game to talk about the game itself? That's the issue. Yeah, no, the whole genres, is that was 10 minutes of the video, the last 4? Okay, whatever.
On 360, Conflict Global Terror on PS2 and Xbox, Ghost Recon 2 on the OG Xbox, Brothers in Arms Hell's Highway, I'm pretty sure it's on PS4 too, and of course SOCOM on the original PS2. Boys, do you know the satisfaction of hitting a button to tell your boys to breach a door as you smash through the wood and have seconds to take terrorists down? And this is like not a cinematic, it's actual gameplay. Do you know the satisfaction in Brothers in Arms of executing a flanking maneuver on an enemy you couldn't take down solo? Call of Duty took all these gameplay moments from tactical shooters and instead made them unskippable, unfailable cinematic moments. What I love about the OG Rainbow Six games is that they built these tense moments into the...
Yeah, Rainbow Six is great. No one's going to argue with that one. It's also not a mystery. These games still exist, you know. There's still tactical shooter games. It's just not as popular anymore because people want to do that with their friends. The reason why these games died out is because we can play now as everyone and choose to coordinate if we wish. You can still use tactics in games if you so choose. That's what it is. Simple. There's still strategy games out there. There's tons of them. But the difference is now you can coordinate with a group of people to do something.
The gameplay. You actually relied on your team members instead of them being completely optional or unimportant like in Call of Duty. Brothers in Arms Hell's Highway is another one I recommend. If you run directly into a war zone, you will die. So you have to position your troops to give you cover fire so you can plan your attack. Tactical shooters actually show you what real-life combat encounters are like, and this is why these games are
At Kowarizarich super chatted $5 to borrow a quote from Trek. Why does God need Doom Guy?
What does God need? What does God want with a battleship? With a starship, sorry. Yeah, it's like, dude, fucking play another game then, dude. I mean, granted, yeah, these are good games. No argument there. They're fun, single-player experiences. But, like, the reason why these games fell out of fashion is because we have online multiplayer now. You can just do this tactics with your teammates now. Hell, fucking Counter-Strike did the same thing without needing a fucking RPG system for it. Now, is there still room for this kind of game in today's standards? Yeah, absolutely. Fucking make one, you know, develop one. I would play it. These are fun games. But they probably also exist.
Fathomably based. And look, I'm not hating on Call of Duty. Y'all know I love the old Call of Duty games. They're very scripted and they're more cinematic. But the fact is, old tactical shooter games actually tried to create a semi-realistic combat scenario instead of something like what Call of Duty did. Oh, Full Spectrum Warrior is another one that I just remembered. All right, guys, we are down to the final...
Okay, Ready or Not just came out. That's a tactical shooter. It came out 2023. Right there. That's one that came out in the last couple of years. There you go. They still exist. These games still exist, dude. They're not new. They're nothing too special. They still exist. They've resurged back in what's we got here? Yeah, they fell off. Okay, underwent. Yeah, the problem is they just fell out of favor. You know, that's what it is. They exist. Sorry, you know, happens. Some games fall out of favor. That's life. Sorry.
The three most based video games of all time. Number 3, Escape from Tarkov. Guys, I don't even play Tarkov very much, but for the few days that I did, I knew that this game was simply too based for me to play it.
So you don't play the game. So you have no frame of reference for this. You're like a child walking in the middle of a movie theater and just asking what's going on.
EFT is the father of extraction shooters.
At Jeff Pyatt 2K4 super chatted $5. Doom Guy is Jewish. Doom was always woke. He punched his CO over ordering a war crime, and the UACA mill contractor summoned the demons excellently.
Yeah, that's what happens. They fuck up. Also, yeah, no, so he doesn't even play this fucking game.
It will always be the GOAT, and unless they are able to fix their cheating problem, I think it will always be... be the most popular.
At Racerk45 super chatted $5. I can only imagine Andypants watching this stream right now and is internally seething.
I hope he does, because I want to see him rage. This is bullshit, man. You can't place a game on your list that you haven't fucking played. Jesus Christ.
At Jeff Pyatt 2K4 super chatted $2. The plot in Doom Manual is very woke.
Exactly, yeah. Hell yeah.
PUBG is to Battle Royale as Tarkov is to the extraction shooter.
How'd you fucking know that?
When you get into a game, there's no map, there's no HUD, there's no hand-holding. You just kind of have to figure things out as you go. You bring a ton of gear into an area. You die, you get looted, and you lose all of it. Don't know where you got killed from? Oops, that sucks. EFT, as far as multiplayer games go, is the most based and masculine and difficult game I think I have ever played.
So it's just like Dark Souls, except with guns. It's like, you die, you lose your stuff. So it's like Dark Souls. Well, it's just like Bloodborne, basically. Jesus Christ.
At the Waverunner super chatted $2. Doomslayer is descended from Wolfenstein Protag.
Yeah, exactly. Well, actually, we won't talk about Wolfenstein.
You also can't really play it if you have kids because you're just going to get distracted and probably lose everything. I quit playing it because I realized I just didn't have the time to devote to it, but there is nothing that will make your pulse race more than playing Tarkov. Number 2, the military simulation genre.
Negative is too far. I have to take Hex and go to LZ.
This bomb run's coming in pretty close.
Guys,
shows footage of him walking around getting shot without any fucking idea what's going on. Head in the clouds, down. Come on, man.
There is nothing more based on Earth than Arma 3. In Arma 3, you just sit quietly in a bunker or something waiting for somebody to come. Nobody comes, and you log off. Now, are milsims incredibly boring most of the time? Yes. But are they unfathomably based? Also, yes. Arma 3 is the...
Guys, isn't it based when you play a game where nothing fucking happens?
At Racerk45 super chatted $2. Get Andypants to play Stardew Valley.
Yeah, seriously. You know, let's see how he does with that. Watch, he probably go with Haley or whatever. Yeah, no, based means being bored while playing your game. Yeah. This is stupid. Why the fuck would you ever play this game?
The father of milsims.
It sucks.
Milsims that are a bit more approachable would be Squad, Hell Let Loose.
Also, look at this. Look at this fucking landscape. There's nothing fucking here. It's an empty open field where nothing is. It's almost like real life isn't fun to play in a game. Shock, I know.
Gray Zone Warfare, etc. Imagine a game where instead of spawning in and dying immediately like Call of Duty, you spawn in and ride 10 minutes in a truck to get to the front lines and then get killed immediately. Squad is a bit more accessible than Arma, and I think probably most closely recreates what it would be like to be in a real conflict in, say, Iraq or something. And
I'm not gonna lie, this game sounds like it fucking sucks. This game fucking sounds like shit, man.
And I mean, obviously, the real battlefield is completely different, but it tries to get close. Some people were saying Arma Reforged.
Yeah, real life means you can walk right up to someone's face and shoot them without them fighting back. That's realistic. Yeah, of course.
Is a lot more accessible and easy to get into. No, I did not find that to be the case. Arma Reforger was just as confusing to me as Arma, and I was not able to get into it either.
At Itsuboy 562 super chatted $3.18. I won't be including any games I haven't played. I don't have time to play everything.
Exactly.
So anyway, the number 3 game is one that I haven't really played, cuz gun.
Exactly. This is so fucking stupid. Like, really, you play like, military simulation games. These are some of the most boring fucking things. They're not fun to play. You have to have the patience of a fucking god to play these. You sit. You know, I've played a military simulation game. You know how it goes. You sit your ass down. You stare at a screen in an empty field, and you wait an hour for another player to show up. And then they don't notice you, and you shoot them, and that's it. Game exchange over. Wait for the next character. That's how it feels like. It's boring as sin. And this is like, people complain about walking sims. Walking sims at least change the scenery.
Either. Now, I can absolutely see the appeal of milsims, and I even sometimes enjoy them. Very long periods of complete silence. A map that doesn't even show you where you are most of the time. Different levels of radio communication with your squad, your commander, your general. I haven't found a milsim that really pulled me in yet, but I'm putting them in the number 2 spot because these games are unfathomably based. Just
base means boring, apparently? You don't even like these fucking games. What the fuck are we doing? He has admitted he doesn't even play them. He doesn't like them. but they're number 2 because they're so based and manly. Maybe the problem is that a pro-war game is actually really fucking bad. Who would have thought?
Just because they're so realistic. Milsims are trying to create a realistic battle simulation, and I think they do a pretty good job of that. It's just unfortunate that
it's not realistic because there's no drones. If it was realistic, you'd be just shooting drones around. Also, where is this? This is an empty field. A magical empty field where nothing happens in it. You think war is fought all the time on empty fields where there's just a mile stretch of bags to catch bullets? How do you know it's realistic, dude? Have you been to war? You been in a war front lately? What the fuck are you basing your decision that this is a realistic war sim on?
That at the end of the day, they are too esoteric for most people, and most guys just want to boot up a video game and have fun for a few hours. I wouldn't say, quote, fun is the...
At user_225_CCC super chatted $1.99. Famous pro-war advocate, Jesus Christ.
Yep, Jesus Christ. Everyone knows Jesus loved war. It was his favorite thing to do. You're such a fucking moron, Andy.
Goal of the Milsim. The appeal of the Milsim for its fans is military roleplay. These are people who want to roleplay in various military roles. All right, number 1. What is Andrew's most base game of all time? And you know it already. It has to be Kingdom Come Deliverance. I say this is the most base game of all time for many reasons. Number 1, it is hard as hell and explains almost nothing to you. Number 2, it is set in a realistic time period and strives for realism at every point, or at least the first one did. Number 3,
I love the second one is realistic in that it shows that gay people also existed in the past because they did. And these guys cried about it for years. They hyped this game up as going to be the thing that just destroys the wokes. And meanwhile, it's like, oh yeah, he's realistic. There's people exist who are gay. And they couldn't fucking handle it. Same gameplay, even better gameplay. More intense combat, but gay people exist, so therefore it's bad.
3, the game is explicitly Christian and even lets you become a priest. Number 4, in all of the towns you go to, people say, Jesus Christ be praised.
At user_225_CCC super chatted $1.99. And this frigid NYC weather is getting to me NGL.
I heard. 20 people died of cold in New Jersey in the last week. 18 in New York. It's fucking colder than fucking the ninth circle of hell out there right now. It's frigid outside. I was hearing it was negative 5 with wind chill. It's terrible. But Andypants Gaming thinks that this game is good because the characters say Jesus Christ be praised. Andy, just play the fucking Bible game, all right?
Which is awesome. The story is incredibly based. It's incredibly well told. The game is such a realistic depiction of medieval Europe. You play as Henry and you can make all kinds of choices about your life. Just to see what would happen, I expressed romantic interest in this one girl, and then I had Henry go to the prostitute house and then come back, and the girl knew all about it and was basically like, I don't want to be your wife anymore. But that just shows you how good this game is at roleplay. So I probably put 40 hours into this game before I gave up. The combat is punishingly hard.
You gave up?
At Racerk45 super chatted $5. Has Andypants even saw the Metacritic score for KDC2?
It's massively high, I'm pretty sure, right? Yeah.
At Koarizarich super chatted $2. It was 71 here in Denver yesterday.
Oh, good for you! I'm kidding. So, Andypants Gaming gave up playing this game. Jesus Christ. What a fake fucking fan. Like, I gave up after 40 hours. I'm like, really?
At SpongeSonic1 super chatted $5. As a trans person, if I say, Jesus Christ be praised, does that instantly make me based in his eyes?
No. He thinks you're from Satan, probably. He thinks everyone who doesn't conform to his specific beliefs is demonic, essentially.
Hard and makes almost no sense. I was never able to fight more than one person at a time without dying. I remember struggling at this one point in the game where I was dying over and over again to these guards. So then I thought, why don't I just go to sleep, wake up at 3 a.m. and stab them in their beds as they sleep? So I did that and it was awesome.
Oh, so you sucked at the game too. So you gave up on it and you sucked. Okay.
Pretty much every enemy in KCD2 you can do this with. If they're too hard, just find out where they sleep at night and stab them in their sleep. And I
So you can't beat them, is what you're saying. You just failed at them. You couldn't play the game correctly, so you cheesed it.
I realize this is a totally dishonorable bitch move, but guys, this game is hard. Now, just to be clear,
yeah, because you didn't get good.
Do not buy this game digitally. Make sure you get a physical copy of this game somehow. I say that because Bagels own Warhorse Studios now. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 was full of gay, woke, Jewish propaganda, and they took Satan's money to make their second game. So this is why I say get a physical copy of the first game, which you could probably find for $10. Do not buy this game digitally because it will give money to Warhorse Studios, and they're full of gay communists now.
Man, imagine sucking at games so much that you're like, yeah, this game I sucked at the combat. I had to cheese it to win. And I gave up at 40 hours. Buy it, but don't pay money for digital copies. Also, the sequel is gay, even though everyone fucking loves the sequel. One of the most well-received games in a very long time.
I made an entire video about this if you want to see it, but basically the main character was straight and based and awesome in Kingdom Come 1, and then in Kingdom Come 2, they made Henry explicitly gay. So that was when I decided I was completely done with the Kingdom.
That's because you're a weak little man, baby. You ain't
At
good at games. Who cares?
3893 super chatted $5. KCD2 have one optional gay romance, but holy fuck, they act like the character is flying on Rainbow Unicorn.
Well, if the entire game isn't designed specifically for them, they can't handle it. It has to be everything
At
or
Hopeless
nothing.
Nostalgic 4833 super chatted $5. Spoken like a true white man, couldn't play by the rules, so he just cheated.
Just as Jesus intended. Stab people in their sleep.
At user_225_CCC super chatted $1.99. Jewish propaganda, yet you worship Jesus, a
exactly.
Jew.
Oh yeah, no. If you're picking up on the hypocrisy, it's because it's apparent. Okay, so I think we're just about
Kingdom
done.
Come games. All right, boys, I hope you enjoyed the list. A few final games I couldn't fit into this list for various reasons. Witcher 3. I got to the end of this list and kicked myself because I forgot to put it in. Witcher 1, 2, and 3 are obviously some of the most based games of all time, but CDPR has gone fully woke in recent years, and if you honestly think Witcher 4 isn't going to be girl boss slop, then I don't...
So the problem is he can't handle these games, he can't play these games, and he cries about games that haven't come out yet, insisting they're going to be slop before they even come out. So you're a fucking moron.
I don't know what to tell you, but yeah, Witcher 3 was awesome. Ghost of Tsushima. This is an unfathomably based game that I just didn't have space to put in. I also think Ghost of Yotei has clearly gone fully girl boss, so Sucker Punch clearly is not a very based studio.
You mean the game that everyone loved and was a massive hit when it came out?
And I don't want to give them any credit anymore. Half-Life 2. Despite this game being one of the most influential first-person games of all time, it has woke elements, and they're clearly mocking people on the right.
You didn't pick up on the other games mocking you too, like Metal Gear Solid?
Ready or Not. Didn't include this because of recent...
Also, Half-Life 2 is one of the greatest games to ever exist, and the fact he's crying about it being too woke for him is proof these gamers are made of softer stuff than melted snowflakes.
Censorship, and I sort of want to see how that pans out. Duke Nukem, yet another incredibly based game series I wish I could have fit into the list. Fallout New Vegas, I really wanted to include this game, but it does have leftist stuff and gay stuff in it, so by definition, it's not very based. And here's a list of everything else I wanted to include that didn't make it into the video. Army of Two.
He's so fucking weak.
At SpongeSonic1 super chatted $5. I know you're picking on him for stabbing people in their sleep in KCD, but I'ma be honest, that sounds like a fun evil playthrough.
Oh, it is, but like when aligned with actually playing the game correctly.
At SpongeSonic1 super chatted $5.
It's okay.
I know you're picking on
sorry,
him
you got
for
it already.
stabbing people in their sleep in KCD, but I'ma be honest, that sounds like a fun evil playthrough.
Wait a second here. Wait, Super Metroid is based? But I thought you wanted women to be traditionally feminine. What was that Samus Aran character? What was she like again? Was she a woman?
Project Zomboid, seriously probably the best zombie game I've ever played. Prototype 1 and 2, I didn't include them because you're technically a bad guy. Kane and Lynch, Dead Rising, Super Metroid, Dying Light, Max Payne #1, AC Black Flag, Just Cause 3, Red Faction Guerrilla, Medal of Honor, Saints Row 1 and 2, Age of Empires 2, and finally America's Army. Guys, the America's Army game is completely ridiculous. You should check it out. All right, guys, thanks for watching the video. If you want to support what I'm doing here so that I can make more videos...
All right, I think I'm done here for tonight. I think I've experienced enough Andypants Gaming for a while. 40 minutes is too much. Watch SK's video on the GTA video to get his opinion there. I think I'm good for the rest of the night. This is a lot of fun. I enjoyed this. It was good coming back to streaming after last week of taking a week off because I was sick. But still recovering. I'm sure you can hear my voice. Next week, possible debate with SK about the Dark Knight, potentially. I hope everything goes well
Jeff
with
Hyatt
all
2K4 super chatted $2. Duke Nukem was always a woke metro feminist.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly, right? No one loves women more than Duke Nukem.
At Artist Panda 5 super chatted $2.
What was that? Oh, thank you for the super chat.
At the Guy 493 super chatted $5. Well, to be somewhat fair, Nintendo usually presents Samus as very feminine and motherly. Lord knows he probably doesn't even know that, though.
Yeah, you think he listen? He doesn't fucking know the plots of any of these games. He doesn't know the plot of Metal Gear Solid. He doesn't know the big boss. He doesn't know boss was the big villain of Metal Gear Solid 3. He doesn't even play these fucking games. Come on, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Hell, I guarantee if you've ever played a game older than the year 2000. You have a better understanding of gaming history than Andypants Gaming has. And he lived through that era. All right? Okay? Okay. So, everyone, with this extra-based masculine background window here, I think it's time for us to wrap things up for today. Friday's video will be about monster fuckery, and we'll see how that goes. Everyone, take care. Bye-bye.